As I suspected, 32 flavors.
Good evening, everyone. Toxic Tuesday, episode 28, The Road Warrior. It's good to be back. Thank you all for being patient, by the way. Seriously, thank you. I know I was late. That's all on me. That's not the panel. Just so this is a Nick Weiser issue. I was just coming straight off of Midnight's Edge After Dark with Script Doctor, Mexican Iron Man, Jesse, and Diego and Tom, of course. So thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. See, Wookiee Supremacy, I subscribe. Well, thank you. The Angry Gamer, just welcome. Yeah, right. Commenting is dangerous. Dude Lebowski, what's going on? RC from the NYC. All hail the chat. Hope are blessed and well earned this evening. Nice to see you, my friend. Thank you for dropping in as per usual. I mean, this is the best Batman film, Dude Lebowski. And here come the debates now. D. Bud Martin, this better be good. I had to stop watching Tango Cash with Well, dude, I do my best, and luckily I got a great panel that helps too. They are definitely great carriers of said Toxic Tuesday, so that does play into this and quite a bit. And I see Dragon Massive 360. What's up? Dart Scipio, what's up, dude? How you doing? Nick is boasting. Am I? I'm just being honest. Hey, you guys do help with this. So, and yes, Angry Gamer Mel is still the man. That's true. What's up, Rob Altus? Nice to see you here. Wookiee Supremacy says Mardigan has finally seen The Road Warrior, and now he's finally a man. About time. I must say I agree. And yes, it is a masterpiece. So we got Mad will be on the way. Tom will be on the way as well. And Mark D with the C will be on his way. But we're going to get the show started because we're not going to keep you waiting any longer, because that's how the fucking cookie crumbles. I'm going to bring in my friend, Mr. Dustin of Brutal and Keto Simple. Dustin, what's up, dude?
What's happening, man?
Dude, this is gonna be it, dude. I watched this thing like 3 times just to relive all that toxicity. What's going on in your world?
Oh man, I'm excited to be here. This is one of those movies for me, like, and I know we'll talk about it more in depth in a little bit, but just one of those movies that's like always been there.
I can understand. I'm sure for you and I, very obvious reasons why it's been there. You and I will probably be the more obvious guys on why it's been there. So yes. And I3AR3, what's my favorite album of theirs? The self-titled. Seriously, that album, all 12 songs, beginning to end, is a perfect crossover thrash like hybrid album. So it's a gem. It's the first one. I'm not trying to be that guy just to say, oh, their first one's better to sell more underground. It's just that album it holds up, man. Front to back. And now we got welcome to Toxic Tuesday as well. Another one of your usual suspects. He is that 70s rock fan.
I will refer to myself as the quasi Ayatollah of rock and roller. I'm not nearly as. Hey guys. So shouldn't that bad now be referred to as self-deletional? Suicidal. That's what you have to say in YouTube. So
Oh yeah, that's true. They're gonna think that. Well, Suicidal Tendencies actually had issues with their Instagram for a bit because of their namesake. Yeah. So they did get taken off and they got back kidding. On.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
greetings, gentlemen.
Yeah, well, greetings to you.
Good to see both.
Yeah. Hey, better to see you, my friend.
No, it's better to see you. Better to see you.
I'm glad you both got to see me.
And it's even better to see Dustin.
It's the best. The best.
Yeah. So this is cool. And I'd like to just say hi to the chat. They were all in nice and early. It's great to see them all. Raquel, Courtney, Dragon Master, Darth Scipio, if they're all in there, it's great. Fantastic.
Hello, Raquel. I see Courtney, Soul Assassin. Hello. Yeah. I see you all there. Yes, yeah. And there's Pope Metallicus. This guy's gonna get. He's got a channel. He's just gotten going, and him and I are gonna be talking Judas Priest's Firepower real soon. Nice, so I cannot wait to do that with him.
Cool.
we got Lemmy, the Beardo, and the Irish Rock.
Diddly 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 potatoes.
Yeah.
Actually, if I was Irish, if I was Rory Gallagher, I'd consider myself privileged. Great Irish rocker. If I could be Rory Gallagher, well, when he was alive. Yeah. So I saw the director's cut of The Road Warrior, and this is the cover for it. This is the poster for the director's cut. That's the one I watched.
Oh, you're
it's
funny.
not how I remember it, but you know, so I might have got the wrong movie. I don't know, but
So okay, well, we'll start off with our usual history on it. So I guess I'll start off with me. So the movie dates back to, for me, about middle school. I'm gonna say 6th or 7th grade. And it timed out well for me because I had a buddy of mine who was getting me into, I guess, more aggressive music. So the timing of it as well. And this is at a time I was getting into like a lot of the gateway bands, your Metallicas and Iron Maidens of the world. I got into Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power. And then simultaneously, he was showing me like cool movies like heavy metal. And he's like, "Hey, have you seen Mad Max? My brother owns these copies on DVD." And I'm like, "Oh, what's Mad Max?" He's like, "You never heard Mad Max, dude? You like Mel Gibson?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I've seen Braveheart, but no, this is not like Brave. This is a whole other thing." Which obviously Braveheart's a whole other masterpiece in its own right, but that's a subject for another day. But when I see Mad Max, I'm just like watching it, and I remember I felt this feeling of heaviness watching it because everything about, and it helps that because like it feels very intense watching everything happen, and it's minimal dialogue, and it feels very like it had the very hell bent for leather. No Jewish priest pun intended in the movie. And I was just like, and these people are just wild living. I just remember like I actually had to watch it a few times just because I was just blown away by the mayhemicness of it. I wasn't even absorbing the story proper, just because I was taking the violence and just the barbaric way of living. So I was just like, this is like if Conan like was donning some leather and lost his way, which Conan kind of always did anyway. And dude, the blood, the violence, I was just like, holy crap, this is bad ass. I didn't know Mel Gibson was like this, but yeah, he was, man. Then all of a sudden I found out, oh hey, there's more. And I didn't see Thunderdome a little later on, but Beyond the Thunderdome. Sorry, Beyond the Thunderdome. I was like, forgive me, I've been at it since 5 a.m. But yeah, it's one of those movies, or all of the movies, but this one's my favorite one, personally speaking. Mad Max is what a character, especially for this movie, because this is a fallout from the first movie where he is more in line. Now you see him, he's a little bit more jaded. He's definitely more crazier, like a lot more crazier. And you see his, like, the fallout of the first movie get to him, and now all of a sudden he just doesn't give a fuck. So yeah, this is another mainstay in the Nick Weiser life vault. So Dustin, why don't you talk about Mad Max, the Road Warrior history?
So this is one of those movies that I started watching because it would be on like the Sunday matinee on regular TV. So I watched it. It was like with commercials and it was edited, because I went back and rewatched it. And there was a lot of things that were cut out because it was on regular TV. But just like, and I don't think I ever, when I was watching it back then, I don't think I ever watched it from beginning to end. It was always like, it was a movie, you pick it up here, and I don't know what it was, but they played this movie a lot.
Was this on like TNT or something?
No, we didn't even have cable.
Oh,
this was like
so
Channel 59 or Channel 4 or whatever. Like Fox or whatever, your local Channel 4 station, whatever that was. And they would always play like these kind of movies on Sundays. So I remember I saw this one, and then I can't think of the name of it, but there was the one where like the guy's getting chased by the semi the whole movie from the 70s or whatever.
Duel,
the
Spielberg film. Yeah.
And I remember like this movie just seems like it would just seem so bleak. And I was a kid. I was like in elementary school. And so obviously this came out in 81. I was born in 79, so I didn't see it in theaters. So just like I don't know. This one is when I always it's like kind of always been in the back of my head. Not necessarily because it was like a good movie or not, you know, or that I liked watching it or whatever. But it was like the imagery was just always kind of burned in the back of my brain, like the feral kid and like the guy, you know, like Humongous or whatever his name is, and
That's
I mean,
Lord Humongous to you.
but just so much about this movie, like it's like always been in the back of my, like, I don't know. I don't, it's more than any other movie of its you know, of its time, I guess.
All right, killer. RC from the NYC for $7.50 says, "What's up, Nick? What's up, panel? What's up, chat? Hope everyone is safe and warm tonight. And RC, I hope you're safe and warmer, my friend. Hailing from the NYC, and shout out to RC. Thank you for the $7.50, my friend, as always, and thank you for your continuous contributions to the channel. I do appreciate it, my friend. 70s. Why don't you talk about your life story?"
Oh, well, this is one of these movies that I am old enough to have seen in the cinema in 1981. It's actually also a movie that came out in the UK, unlike most movies at that time, slightly before it was released in North America. I think it was like 2 or 3 months before. So we actually got to look at it before that. I think it's partly because a lot of Australian movies, well, they had more chance of being shown in the UK. And Mad Max, the first Mad Max, was a fairly big hit in the UK, and then obviously went on to be a big hit worldwide. And I'd seen that in the cinema too. And this was in a period where I was in the military, and so it was a bunch of us, as we did, a bunch of us guys got beard up and went to see a movie, and it was just killer. Absolutely loved it. I'm a big fan of dystopian movies anyway, and I saw this as being very much in a sort of science fiction dystopian sphere, so it appealed to me in a number of levels. The first one was good, but the first one, because you know he's really setting that origin story, and it's kind of got the domestic thing, and it's kind of the disintegration of the world. It's still some semblance of normality at the beginning of it. You know, he's got a wife and kids, he's got a job, he's still a cop, you know, whatever. And there's some interesting stuff in that, because later on they imply there's been a nuclear war, but really the implication in the first one is it's more degradation of the Earth's natural resources that kind of causes this slow decay, not a big war. So they kind of changed the canon a bit later. But the second one for me is the best of the three. And having watched Thunderdome straight after I watched the second one, just to compare, Thunderdome's great at the start and great at the end, but it's got the 40-minute Ewok bit in the middle with the kids, which I really don't like much of at all. The second one's perfect for me. It's not trying to tell too much of a story. It's very much starts here, no moments wasted. It's got one goal, which is he wants some gas. The people with the gas want to get out.
Yeah, very simple plot.
Bad guys want to kill him, and that's it. There's no, you know, no room for feelings and emotions. Particularly, there's some emotional stuff in it, but it's very much focused on an hour and a half of action, and it almost has a kind of a comic book feel in places to it. You know, it's very much to me something that could have come out of the pages of a really good comic or graphic novel. You know, it's just the way it's laid out, and I could see that as a storyboard. I could just imagine that's what it looked like. And I like that. I like the fact that there's no mucking about with origins. You don't really care where he goes afterwards. It's just this slice of an hour and a half, 2 days in the movie, basically. 2 days movie time, and he's just got to do this thing and survive and whatever. So, just brilliantly executed on a low budget. Another thing I love about this and the first one is, and then even particularly in the third one, it's largely an unknown cast, Australian cast. So it really doesn't take you out of it. There's nothing takes you out of that thing. You knew who Mel Gibson was if you'd seen that in one or two of his earlier movies.
Well, that's
you didn't know anyone else.
Well, that's what's funny you mentioned that, somebody. Sorry to cut you off. But this definitely bears mentioning, because this movie, like the promotions, like prior, like you know how like with the first Die Hard, Bruce Willis wasn't really like upfront like the promotion of it because he was unknown at the time. But that was that way originally for Mad Max starting off. Mel Gibson had that issue as well because he wasn't as known, so he had the Willis effect before Willis had the Willis effect of. They're like, oh, we got to promote this on the craziness and not on Mel Gibson, because usually you want to have a face for a movie, but at that time they're just like, oh, let's promote everything else but the star, because we don't know if the star is going to be the thing that pans out or not. So they just went for the scenery, and luckily it ended up working out, because when you watch this movie, it's still very gorgeously shot to look at, and you can thank George Miller. Well, I mean,
it's
God,
beautifully shot.
Legend.
And given the circumstances, it's out in the outback, probably dusty, sandy, a lot of light, a lot of sun, heavy sun. Filmed beautifully. I mean, there's only and in fact, RC and the NYC says that cinematography of the chase scene some of the best ever filmed. I think there's only 2 moments in the film where I look at that and I go, well, they've speeded that bit up, and you can see clearly they've either filmed it slower and then put it back to normal speed. And there's a little clip like that, and then there's one other bit I noticed something that was a bit, but other than that, brilliantly filmed physical stunts and action. And we can compare that to, say, today's Fast and Furious movies, which are CGI'd and anti-physics up the asshole. This is far better.
Bullshit today. Yeah, that's all they have is bullshit today.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah.
And of course, it's got the great Vernon Wells in it. Before we knew he was Vernon Wells.
Right.
Anyway, we've been joined by I can hear an irritating buzzing noise somewhere.
Hey, man, that's Nick's job. What are you doing?
Keep that YouTube up there. Keep that
70s,
chat up there.
70s, 1 second. Hold on, I gotta turn on my headphones. I don't want you to tell a good joke and I miss it.
There's no chance of that. You can switch them off again. Switch them off again.
How's it going, Mad?
It's going great. Yeah.
How are you, sir?
I felt so at home with this movie, with the accents.
Was it because of all the dudeliness going on?
Okay, first of all, I thought that the relationship between Mohawk Biker and his the chick that rides bitch with him everywhere.
That's a dude.
Chick?
That's a guy.
Okay. Well, I mean, look, I'm not going to just assume his or her gender.
Okay.
But I will say that their relationship was more fleshed out and more believable and more sweet than anything you've seen in the MCU.
I actually think you're right. You're right. Yeah,
like,
and it didn't.
I mean, I'm watching it, and I am rock hard. No, so
which is unusual. I've heard. You also, did you take some Viagra?
Yeah.
Or?
But no, it's just that's what does it.
Man.
You add Mohawks in gay sex, and I'm in. But I do have a question: is the boomerang wild person with the fur? Is that a kid?
Yes,
or I'm like kid, Emil Minty,
or like LP that like is like doesn't look LP-ish. Does that make sense?
No, I don't think it's an LP. I think it's an actual kid. But what we debated at the time was: is that a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
Yeah, no, it does say later it's a boy, but it's a kind of
Emil Minty. That's the kid's name.
But I thought it was a girl when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I thought it was a little girl.
Really?
Like a girl. Yeah.
Huh.
Can we? Well, that's your bias. Can we see like a picture of that person growing up today, if they're still alive? This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
As far as Internet Movie Database, they're still alive.
I'm looking for
I'm just curious
Minty
of
photos. See
what a great name, Emil Minty.
I know, right? It's so.
Which is weird because there's a YouTube channel that I look at that does like movie like behind this like movie things you missed and different things like that, and his name is Minty, which I thought was weird. I was like, and he's Australian. I was like, well, maybe they're like
it's the well-known mouthwash barons, the Minties.
Yeah. Okay, Rob Altus here is a great comment. I've chatted with Emil Minty on Facebook. Cool dude. That's awesome. I know Tom and Script Doctor talked to Vernon Wells recently. I think on Midnight's Edge recently as well. So it seems like a lot of the cast members are very approachable as far as getting in touch with them. So that's awesome to hear. And RC here, Abel is 50 years. Well, then again, this movie was 40 years ago, so that does make sense. You see, when you watch this movie, you don't feel like it's 40 years old.
I felt it.
You feel that? I don't. Maybe I'm. Well, what? Okay, let's hear your argument, Matt.
No, look, man, when I opened it up today, right, I'm like, all right, let me watch this. I've been putting it off for days now. I'm like, 90 minutes. I can make 90 minutes. Hey, a blue healer. I'm on board now, right? And yeah, it moved at a good pace. I didn't get to finish it because I did fall asleep, and I just woke up not too long ago. But I got like over an hour, and like I had like 20 minutes left. He had just gotten the he just got hit. He just got rescued by a helicopter guy. And then I'm just like,
gyro captain.
I'm just like, okay, here we go. Stay awake, Matt Cheesemo. That's what you call yourself when you're alone.
And
I would have thought the sight of Vernon Wells' ass hanging out of those chaps would have been enough to keep you awake.
I was like, wow, he went for it. Thong and all. I'm on board. Because he was wearing a thong. Trust me, there wasn't a shot of him from.
Did he have a tail? And was that plugged in or?
No, it was a flap. So I looked very closely. Like there was not a shot in this movie of him from behind that I did not see. So there was like a flap that covered it. But it was so it gets hung from like the belt, like the waist area, and so it would fly up sometimes. And you'd be like, "Oh wow, he's wearing a thong too." You go, boy. Like you do your thing, man. Mel Gibson is gorgeous. Like I'm like, dude, he was a good-looking bro.
Isn't he so? Look how young he is and how beautiful he is. He's beautiful.
Dude, despite his savage brutality, yeah, he does have that. He's got the looks going on in this.
Well, so that was the first thing you had to get over is that like this handsome angel of a man-looking face is in this post-apocalyptic world. No, he would look way more like the helicopter guy. I don't know his name.
That's right, Bruce Spence.
With his
with the teeth.
Oh boy, dude!
Because he turns up in the third movie and his teeth are all white and done. They're all beautiful looking.
Well, yeah, because there were so many complaints of puking from the first. You know what I mean? Like people are like, "Man, I like this movie, but it gets gross."
But like his teeth and that, like that young girl's all like crushing on him, and like, did you see him smile yet?
I know.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh,
she's the only babe in the film. She's like a real Shayla. She's a Shayla.
I think that goes to show you how bad of a situation they were in. That she was like, "Ooh, I don't know if I can do these teeth, but I got to get the fuck out of here."
If it had been a choice between him and Mad, she would still have gone with the gyro captain, I think.
Okay, so
dude, Mad Max is a good-looking guy.
All right.
No, I mean Mad, not Max. I said Mad. Choice between
Max.
you. Yes, that's true. But yeah, there's the girl.
Yeah, right. All right, so I've had this thing like watching these movies, especially since when I was getting into Mad Max, and I was also simultaneously into the Attitude Era of WWF.
Hell yeah,
WCW. I remember, I was like, that's why I put together because I don't know where the Chris Jericho, the Ayatollah of rock and roll. I'm like, did he steal that from Mad Max?
Yeah,
I laughed so hard because he was talking about Y2J. I'm like, I'm like, did he steal from that movie? And also I was into the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal. And I thought like Hawk or Animal got their looks or at least some degree of influence from these. I could be totally wrong, but it's just like, they had these type of looks, the ridiculous haircut, the war paint, and like, all
where did they get their hair dye?
Oh man!
Oh come on!
That's right. They've got no electricity, no whatever. They've got hair dye.
Here comes Brutal trying to poke holes in the story. Listen, man, they have gasoline. First of all, like once you get past that giant leap of like unbelievable bullshit, then the the hair dye doesn't seem that bad.
Well, you make a good point there, man. They're looking to get this gasoline, right? And yet they spend all day driving around at high speed in a circle around this base.
I can answer that.
Burning what little gas they've got.
Tom?
Yeah, I was wondering that shit too, man.
Yeah, they're burning every
Vernon
little
Wells
bit of
told
gas.
us exactly how he did all that shit. Because they took all that into consideration. Basically, it's just like how old Indian tribes used to do it.
Oh, yeah. I thought
where were they getting the gas from?
Sorry, Native American tribes. My bad.
What the
Nick,
fuel
throw him
though,
out of the chat. It's
fuel doesn't stay fuely forever. Like it, I don't know if expire is the right word, but it does stop to work or whatever after a very short period of time, actually.
Yeah, but they're burning as much as they possibly can, as quickly as they can, whilst they're claiming they've got no gas.
All of that has to be like processed or whatever. It all has to be made.
Well, this isn't that far outside of our. That's the thing. If you go off of the first film, like that's right on the edge of where we're at right now. Like that film was just set in the near future. Right.
Yeah,
In-
the 90s, I think.
No, this
takes
is
place
set in
the
80,
90s.
83 or something, 83,
Oh,
84.
Well, I thought these
Oh, no,
took
this
place in
one,
the early
sorry,
90s.
the first one's set in the mid-80s.
Mhm.
This one's maybe 5 years later. Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Early 90s.
So the gas would still, for the most part, be good. But what happened is the shipping process, the refining process has shut
Yes.
down. So now they're living off of whatever's left. And you're right. I'm sure there is an expiration date on a lot of it too.
Yeah, because I think this was one of the complaints about The Walking Dead is like, wait, how can they drive all these vehicles? Because the fuel would have been, even in the Walking Dead in that short time, the fuel would have been ruined. But I'll see what I can
Well,
find.
they're all headed into the horses in The Walking Dead now. I mean, it's not
I
many.
stopped watching
I don't
that
watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I know gas does have somewhat of a shelf
Yeah.
life, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not sure how much.
Mhm.
The good thing about a horse is that if
It all
it
depends
can't
on how
carry
it's
you
stored.
around anymore, you can at least eat it.
Yes.
True.
Can't eat your car.
All
3 to
right.
6
Well,
months.
bits of it.
Before I have Tom, we need to do our classic patriarchal.
No, I don't want Girl Scout cookies.
Pulp Metallicus for 666, the number of the beast. I like this movie best because you can see Max is dead inside and is just kind of on autopilot until he finds someone to defend. Yeah, once he needs business and business is good, that's what he goes for. And Pulp Metallicus, thank you for the tip. I appreciate that. And we're also going to welcome Mark D with a C. Hello, sir. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Sorry I'm late.
Oh,
I had
no,
to
you're
go.
good, man.
I had to go win a political election, so I got reelected. So
you're the mayor.
yep. So
Wow,
So
Mayor
what kind
Mark.
of favors
D.
can you do for me?
All right.
What do
So
I got to do to get some political favors here?
I have
Yeah,
4
well-
warrants. I have 4 warrants in Copper's Cove.
well, I mean, have you ever used the boomerang commission of any of these crimes?
so
That's the
Might be
whole
able to help you with that.
He'd be fingered for them if he did.
So,
Hey,
Sir
phrasing.
Thomas of the Connors, would you like to tell us about your initial experience with the Mad Maxes?
Yeah, sadly I can't stay too long. I got a bunch
That's
of shit I
fine.
got to get done.
You're
but,
good, dude. You're
no,
good.
I actually didn't really get into them until a little later in life. I mean, obviously I was aware of them, and especially when Beyond Thunderdome came out, that movie was like, I mean, it didn't do like the big bucks, but it was still like everywhere. Like the music video, I remember, seeing previews and everything for it and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I was well aware of what Mad Max was, but I actually didn't see the films until I want to say it was like 15, 16, maybe. Whenever they re-released Road Warrior on video again for the first time and forever remastered. And Mad Max had just come out from like Anchor Bay or something like that in the US. So the first time I saw Mad Max, the first one, I had never seen it with the dub. I've only seen it with the Australian soundtrack. So I never saw an old tape of it or anything like that, or an old broadcast. I saw it in its original version. So I went right, all 3 of them. I went and bought them, I think, at one point, and just watched them all. And yeah, I've just been a fan ever since.
Tom, are you suggesting they redub these into English from Australian?
They did.
I
The original, anyway, not the second and third one, but the first one they did, yes.
But I do think they like lessen up the accent because Mel's accent was a little iffy here and there.
Yeah,
it
he's
definitely
American.
was.
Mel's American. That's why.
I know. That's why.
Oh, they redubbed his voice in the American version too.
Oh, did they? In
Oh,
this
yeah.
one?
Yes,
Yeah.
Truth Cobber.
It's
That's
funny to think
The American version sounds like shit.
Oh, yeah, it does. Nah.
Wait, did I see the American or the Australian
You've
version?
probably seen the Australian version for like the last 20, 30 years. Most versions on any version you find, unless you switch to the American track on your DVD or Blu-ray, it
I
just
was on
automatically
HBO Max.
plays. Yeah, then
I
they
watched
probably
it
just
on
have
HBO Max.
then they probably just have the Australian track.
Okay. All right. Because it felt very Australian. I'm like, hey, kangaroo is dead.
Oh, then it clear. Well, if you know if they got accents, then it's the Australian track. If they don't, then it's not.
Oh, yeah. It was Australian. Yeah, that's what I was saying. But like his accent on the Australian, it was a little iffy at times. There was a couple times I'm like, there's Mel. He's poking his head through.
He's never had one full. He always kind of dips and dives no matter
Yeah.
what he's in.
But I do love the bromance that we get between Helicopter Guy and Mad Max.
The gyrocopter.
Yeah.
Mr. Gyro.
Yeah.
Yep.
So gyro. Oh yeah, gyro. Yeah. Sorry. It's an inside joke.
Hero
that-
cop.
for none of y'all. Yeah,
I
had a
don't
guy
want
roll.
the sauce on it though.
Yeah.
Just the meat.
I don't like the sauce either. Yeah, dude. I'm with you on that one. But by the way, fuel 3 to 6 months. And but I'm
Yeah,
fine with
fuels.
it.
I was listening, guys. Yeah,
Can
fuel.
you
the
not
fast
add
doesn't
some
last.
treatments to it and stuff though? I'm sure.
You can put stable in it, like I use stable.
Yeah, I
you
feel
know.
like
Honestly, I'm
treatments.
sure it depends on how it's stored as well.
Yeah.
And it depends
But-
on what kind of engine too. If you've got like a diesel engine will burn mostly
Well,
anything.
Yeah, diesel's different though. I don't think that's the same as I think that has a longer shelf life than a gasoline. But
Well,
I will
didn't
say
they like
Luke-
shift over most of these engines to diesel? Isn't that kind of the whole?
he said high at one point he asked for high octane gasoline and diesel. I assumed the diesel would be for
the truck.
the truck, and the gasoline, the high octane would be for his car.
I guess is this movie predicting that Tesla never made it in the future?
Oh, wait.
What should I do with the Tesla stuff?
Why do you think we're in this
Hold the
situation?
statue.
Yeah,
Always
not
hold.
one charging station in this entire trilogy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Problematic.
We destroyed the world trying to make all the shit for the electric cars. That's why we got into this post-apocalyptic situation.
Yeah.
That's kind of the
I-
implication of the first two, and then they go, "Oh, it was nuclear war in the third one." No, it wasn't. That's
Does
Fuck, we
any-
need a Thunderdome.
yeah.
Does anybody give the pupper a name? Like I'd never heard anyone.
No, it's just dog. That's
That
just
poor damn dog.
That's
I
literally
know.
what
Cute.
it's just dog. But you know what? I could get with it because once again, obviously, it's just like it's Mel Gibson's character being more crazed, and that was something Gibson wanted. He wanted his character to be, more down and jaded, and so for him, he was probably just so jaded out of his mind. He's just like, I don't even want like a regular dog name. You're just gonna be dog, and it's cool because the dog was from a shelter, so they actually got the dog, and one of the people who
Really?
worked on the movie was actually given the dog after it was done filming.
He's older though. I like he's an older.
They scared
dog.
the hell out
What
of
is
this
the breed
dog,
of
though.
that dog?
Yeah.
It's what is that breed? My wife
Mixed
says
blue
healer.
It's like a blue something. Or...
It's a blue
Yeah,
healer.
blue healer.
That's it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. He's an older blue healer too. He's probably about 8, 9.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little older. I had my first dog, Blue was his name. He was a blue healer and very
was
protective
imaginative.
dog. Very protective. And they'll snip at your heels, man. Like if I would get too close to the creek, because my parents, I guess, didn't care about watching me, because I had Blue, he would drag me by my pants leg back to the house. And so that's East Texas babysitting. My dad, my dad, thank God this dog is dead. My dad had a blue healer, and that dog hated everyone. Whenever I would go visit him, like I would have to like call him on the phone from the guest room or whatever, and be like, "Hey, I would like to go urinate now. Can you please put Blue up?" Because the dog would attack you. Like one night, I swear to Christ, he's slamming his head into the door trying to get through it to kill me.
Ouch.
Anyway, they didn't
So-
take him to Costa Rica or wherever they went.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I
Go
love
ahead,
blue
Matt.
healers. They're a very protective dog. You know what I mean? I feel bad that that dog was freaked out the entire time, but it was a well-behaved dog.
Mm-hmm.
Gets to keep that bone in his
No,
mouth. and
luckily
not-
it had a good happy ending though. Yeah, I got to go
Yeah.
live with somebody. So
Mm-hmm. So commenting is dangerous. What is it about Mad Max and how good they look in black and white? Fun fact: I've actually never seen them in black and white, so
They
I
have black and
couldn't
white
answer
versions,
on
or-
that.
just of the last one that I know of.
I
Yeah,
didn't even know
that's-
that was a thing. Period. Then again, I'm a color guy, so that I couldn't.
I'm the controversial one who will sit there and say that the first one of the first woke movies that we always forget about was fucking Fury Road.
Fury
Oh,
Road.
totally was. No, in hindsight, it's easier to not notice.
Mad
it
Max
at
took
the
a back
time.
seat.
Oh,
Was
totally
Mad Max even
did.
in that movie? I was like,
But briefly.
In my head canon, no, Mark.
yeah, because I got out of the movie. I'm like, I liked the movie, but it really wasn't a Mad Max movie.
No.
Why wasn't it called Furiosa? I mean,
if
and
you're
look
gonna
what they're
if,
doing next. Yeah.
if you're gonna wokeify a movie, at least wokeify like they did with Fury Road, because the chase scenes and all that was fucking awesome.
oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
The effects are incredible.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
It's an incredibly shot
Yes.
chase going in a straight line for an hour and then taking a right or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
yeah, my friends I went to see them opening night. They're like, what they do to Mad Max? Like,
Yeah.
this
Dr.
is
Forbidden's like,
ridiculous.
thought you were leaving. Yeah, sorry, I didn't like Fury Road all that much. I was like, yeah, it's all right, but it's not a fucking Mad Max movie. I didn't see Mad Max anywhere in this fucking movie.
Yeah, and I like Tom Hardy too. I liked him as well. I mean, he kind of got Hawkeyed, you know what I mean? But
and really, I mean, outside of the new cool things that they did bring in, like the few bits, it's like it's just a kind of a rehash of Road Warrior in a lot of ways. So, you know, just the whole chase scene and all that stuff. But it's fun. Don't get me wrong. But.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie by any means. It's just really misleading, I guess you could say.
I still don't understand why Mel wasn't in it.
Yeah, I'm surprised. And once again, I like Tom Hardy too. I really do.
Yeah.
I think
Nothing against Tom.
Man.
It's just like they didn't give me a good enough reason why Mel couldn't have played Max again. He didn't do anything in that movie that Mel couldn't have done.
Yeah, and you could have had Max just 10 years older than, or 10 years older than the third one.
I think
I'm pretty.
I was going to say, commenting is dangerous. Says Tom, do you think the director wrote it that way or the studio man? I think he wrote it that way. That's why it came off that way. But I think the only reason the studio let him do it is because he wrote it that way.
Oh, Jack of all casual is good content, and this could be before Robert Downey Jr. fought to have Gibson back, because Downey was very vocal about saying that Gibson should be in movies again. So
and that's another reason. It was at the beginning of the woke shit. It was like that was kind of one of the reasons I was kind of everybody kind of loved it and they were like really hyped up on it, and I just kind of kept my mouth shut about it. You know, I just like whatever. It's all right.
I didn't notice anything woke about it, but then again, I didn't really watch it with a whole lot of.
But that's the thing is the woke isn't so much in the movie per se as it is.
It's made.
Is the statement that the movie made? Yeah, it was that Mel Gibson is problematic, and the new Mad Max is going to take a back seat to these strong whammons.
Yeah,
he's going to be a hood ornament. Basically, right? The new Mad Max.
Basically, by the way, I love to hear that Robert Downey Jr.
Not that I know of, Rob, unless you got an article or an interview or something like that. Because last I knew, he was more than interested in being in it. But
I like the idea of.
Go ahead, Matt.
So that Robert Downey Jr. was like defending Mel Gibson and trying to have him in after Shane Black really fought for him to be in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and then you had Jon Favreau fighting for him to be Iron Man. It's nice to see him paying it forward in some ways. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree.
I've seen someone that has hit hard times and not just like pulling the ladder up behind him, kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, I really respect about Mr. Iron Man himself. When I learned about them, I'm like, oh, that's really awesome, because that happened. He was fighting for Gibson after he had already made all the accolades as Iron Man. Well, he was on his stride as Tony Stark. So to see that happen, I'm like, oh, dude, that's so cool.
Well,
and he's also applying for a guy who he has, I guess you could say, he has a lot of unpopular positions in Hollywood. The fact that he's fighting for him too makes him that much more respectful because obviously his positions are no secret.
I think I can speak for just about everybody when we say we don't agree with what Mel said or did. We all would never condone it. But I think the hypocrisy is that you have people like Alec Baldwin and all that shit who have said and done a lot worse, but are okay because they're on that side of the aisle. So it's like, okay, if you can forgive and forget what Alec Baldwin, said to his daughter, then why can't you forget and forgive what Mel Gibson said when he was fucking 10 sheets to the fucking wind, drunk, pissed himself and everything else. Yeah.
Anybody can make a mistake.
Look, I'm not condoning anything he fucking said or did, but I mean, my point is, I don't think Alec Baldwin was also. I don't think Alec Baldwin was drunk when he called his daughter a piggy.
That was horrendous when you hear what Alec Baldwin said.
Yeah,
and if you watch, Alec Baldwin tried to have a talk show at one point, and then he was making fun of Sean Hannity, and Sean Hannity used to work in construction, so he was on with Sean. He's making fun of him for hanging sheetrock and working construction. And Sean's like, "Wow, what a man of the people you are!"
Talk about tone deaf,
totally tone deaf, trying to, it's this big Hollywood star, and you play the clips.
Sharon Osbourne, the daughter, was saying, "Oh, who's going to clean our toilets?" If you
Yeah,
know what
Mel's
it is.
fucked up, but there's been a
Yeah.
lot worse shit that people have said and done in Hollywood and have forgiven. That's my point. So
No, I get your point, Tom. It's the idea if we're supposed to be living in this world where we need to, like, I guess, I mean, I'm using one of their terms here, but I guess because it's relevant, I use it. We're supposed to do better. How are we supposed to do better if we have a mistake and we're actually trying to do better, not to derail this, but you see what I'm getting at is you can't do better if you're not given the chance.
yeah.
Well, Mel's fought his way back, and I think he's
Fat Man was the best movie of last year.
Wait, what was?
Or well, now 2019.
theoretically the year
What are you
before.
calling
Yeah,
fat?
Theoretically, the
Just
year
kidding.
before. Yeah, it was one of the best movies of 2019.
Oh, it was brilliant. Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah, I did have a couple issues with it. It felt like the tone was a little unbalanced. Like it couldn't figure out how funny it wanted to be or how dark it wanted to be.
I get what you're saying, but I felt it did a good job compared to other
Yeah.
movies.
Oh, for sure. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, but like I was like, oh,
I loved the mix of like we're gonna give you like this almost Tim Allen style Disney kind of Disneyfied Santa Claus movie mixed with Bad Santa in a way, almost mixed with Die Hard kind of thing. It was just I don't know, I loved it.
And Walton Goggins
I
always
enjoyed it a
delivers.
lot.
I mean, he's
Oh,
always
Walton
good.
Goggins is awesome.
I need to go back
He's
and
one of
watch
my
it again.
favorite people of all time.
Yeah, he's
Oh, you
great.
talking about teeth? He has every tooth possible. You talking about that guy?
Yeah.
From Untitled.
He's got a mouthful of teeth or whatever. You want
Right.
Well, and he plays the best of assholes, and he plays the best of kiss asses, and he plays some of the best,
He can play
complicated good
anyone.
guys, and that's why I love him in Hateful Eight because he gets to play the entire
Yes.
gamut in that, and like he goes from being a completely racist asshole at the beginning to the hero at the end. So it's like he gets the complete arc there.
Not unjust, but Justified was such a great show
Oh yeah.
with
Oh,
him
indeed.
and Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, those two both are great. Yeah.
Oof. Man. But anyway, yeah, back to Road
Those are
Warrior.
Mad
man
Max.
actors.
Yeah, right. Well, back to Mad Max.
But no, like I think they're kind of another generation of the type of actor that Mel was. To bring it back to Mel, and this whole idea is like, that he was that kind of a voice back then too. And because in the 80s you had Schwarzenegger and you had Stallone, but then you had like the other guys. You had Kevin Costner and Mel Gibson, who were always kind of battling back and forth. I don't know if they ever had any kind of rivalry at all. But if you kind of think about it, like both of them had their hand at directing. Both of them, had some big films. Both were kind of prestigious as far as like getting Oscars for both directing and acting. I mean,
And they're also very different too.
in a way, yes, but like also at the same time, they still have that rugged, like classic masculine kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like to me, Mel and Kevin kind of took on the next generation of what Clint started.
I got
Oh,
you.
totally. No, I wholeheartedly agree, Tom.
I think I prefer Mel Gibson as far as a director. I think because Kevin Costner has never seen a script that he can do under 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like he can
That's
be a
his
little long.
biggest problem. Yes.
Yeah, he's a little long in the tooth.
You thought
but-
Waterworld was too long?
Oh, I love Waterworld.
I don't think he directed Waterworld, did he?
Yeah, I don't think he directed
Waterworld?
it either. Nah, he did. Dances with Wolves, obviously.
Yeah,
maybe
he did Dances with Wolves, and he did
Did he
Postman?
direct The Postman?
Postman, I think.
I like that one
and
too, by the way. Like I know it
Bad
gets a lot of hate.
CGI. but
I think he did
it's
Wyatt
nice.
Earp was his other. He did like his last 4 or 5 movies, I think.
Oh yeah, the Wyatt Earp thing. Oof, that was so long. It started in like 20 minutes. You're like, holy crap, has it been 2 hours already? It's 20 minutes. Like it felt long.
That's why
Alright.
Tombstone is so good.
Oh yeah.
Now we're
In
getting
this
off the
movie
beat
as
now.
well.
No,
This movie is a tight one, a tight 90. You know what I mean?
Oh no, yeah,
Which-
this is
Yeah,
one of the
really
best
appreciate
edited
it.
films of the era.
There's nothing wasted in it. Nothing's
I-
wasted.
I love the kid. I always called him Bam Bam when I was younger. I always called him Bam Bam with a boomerang. That was my name for him because when he comes in, he makes an impact right away. And like you think, okay, this kid's obviously he's gonna be crazy and destructive, but to what degree? And boy, do we learn the hard way because when he goes off and makes a scene, you see some let's just say a few parts rolling.
Well, that's
love
why
how
I
the
got
kid-
confused.
I clipped that.
I love this kid too. Like he's like, and then as soon as Mad Max is on the scene, he's like, "Yep, he's the alpha dog. I'm sticking by him."
that kid is a great actor. I mean, this is a fabulous performance for a kid.
Oh yeah,
He's
like
brilliant. Yeah, he really captures
it bothered me when he smiled. I'm like, oh, and that included with the man, he can whip that. As soon as he whipped that that boomerang, I'm like, wait, is that a kid? Like,
right.
That's when I first. And so now
Children
I'm taking
are little people
measurements.
too. Children are little people too.
I'm taking
Well, like, that
measurements
whole
of his
scene,
arms
like,
and stuff.
Whenever the little wild kid was around, like it was like the way the cinematography was, they almost sped him up. It seemed like.
Mm-hmm.
They did that a few times.
Yeah, there was a couple of
there's a
scenes
lot
like
of
that.
sped up. And I
Yeah.
noticed that specifically more so. Like, I mean, you can notice in some takes,
Yeah.
but when I got the 4K version of this,
Oh, I bet.
you can really tell because, like, when you do
Artifacts
speed up, because when you do speed up film, they don't use the original negative for that, so they have to go to whatever their next closest thing is, so you can tell the difference in jump in
Does it have
quality.
the same quality then?
Yeah,
No?
Gremlins
Yeah.
suffered from that too, and so did Roger Rabbit. Yeah.
Did
Especially
you
when you
see
see
the
it in
wire?
4K,
Did anybody
yeah.
else see the wire with the bow? The main,
Oh,
like the leader of the group. I guess Tom caught it. Like when he gets shot in the leg, he's on the flamethrower, right? I'm like, wait a minute, did I see the wire?
Oh yeah,
I rewound it. Oh yeah, 100%. You see the
a
wire.
lot of
Do you
that.
have
Yeah,
that?
because a lot of that's reverse. Yep.
All right.
I ordered a pizza, not a bitch.
Deleted scenes for $1.99. Question for Nick Weiser and the panel. What do you think of the theory that the Max and Fury Road is the feral kid taking on the Max persona? You know, I thought of that. It's hard for me to buy it. It personally, for me, it's hard to buy it. Any of the other guys, okay. I was gonna say, if the
not
guys
one
feel
boomerang
different.
was thrown.
It's a cool
Not one
idea,
boomerang.
though, but
And Matt will tell you the gas would not last that long.
I'm telling you that now.
Yeah, because the feral. Yeah, I don't think the feral kid would adopt Max's persona because he only really encounters Max in a couple of occasions in a short span of time, and then he goes off with the gyro captain and he raises him. So I don't think he would adopt Max's persona. He wouldn't know it well enough. He'd seen a bit of him.
Yeah,
That's just me. I mean,
no, you're good, man. I'm personally, I wasn't with that idea, but it's all good. No, it's always good and fun to entertain things. That's what we do.
fun idea.
So, Mark, I'm gonna have Mark.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about your Mad Max history?
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Like, sorry, coming late to the party, but I saw this movie first before Mad Max. So,
Oh.
I remember seeing it on VHS. One of my buddies we'd have like a violence fest, we'd call it. Just watch violent movies all weekend. So, but I'd seen, and then we were like, well, this is the only Road Warrior movie, and I love this movie. But I'm like, oh, guys, there's like, you can rent now the original ones out from Australia. But I'm trying to remember, like, if you're older like me, or maybe Tom remembers, any of you guys remember, seeing Mad Max. Now you'd obviously probably watch Mad Max first, and then this one, the Road Warrior.
I saw Mad Max first in the cinema, and then this in the cinema. And it wasn't called the Road Warrior in the UK. It was just called Mad Max 2.
Mad Max, right?
It was Mad Max 2. Yeah,
this was Mad Max 2. Okay.
Yeah, there was no Road Warrior.
Actually, for the
that was
last
added
10 years in the US, it's only been called Mad Max 2 on the movie itself. On the video cover, it's still called Road Warrior. But
Road Warrior, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and then now they got it. Yeah, they got it credited now as Mad Max 2 Road Warrior on the newer cut versions. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're watching. I'm like, it's the Road Warrior. One of my buddies, this is before the internet. He's like, no, this is a sequel. I'm like, what are you talking about? The sequel? This is called the Road Warrior. Why would they have
It sounds like the first one, doesn't it?
Well, it's because the real short history of it is they did try to release Mad Max in the US and it just didn't do anything. So then when Warner released this, they just decided to call it the Road Warrior here in the US.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Which is weird given the
marketing.
huge amount of money the first film made worldwide.
in the US it just flopped though. Yeah, it just didn't
but
do
worldwide.
shit.
It was the biggest earner for its budget ever, or something.
Well, back then
they weren't speaking American. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Back then, we just couldn't figure out that
The
damn
dub
accents.
didn't even help. No.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just love, seeing this movie. Like, holy shit! I can't believe what I'm just watching.
No, and they
on
actually
screen.
contemplating dubbing this one too for the very same reason.
no.
But I think George Miller fought against it or something like that. But
Yeah, I hate to tell you, American guys, but we are speaking English too.
Barely.
Us
You are?
non-American English speakers.
Now, to be fair, though, and I know you're joking around 70s, but to be fair, this is the movie studio's fault, right?
Hey.
They were the ones who thought that that the audience couldn't be sophisticated
I
enough,
know.
which is
Didn't they-
ridiculous.
Didn't
but
they
yeah.
release Train Spotting in America with subtitles actually burnt into it? So you
Not
had to
that, but it was Snatch. I think you're thinking of.
Yeah,
Maybe they did.
I think Train Spotting as well.
Maybe they did too. I couldn't. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
recall. But
Snatch, they didn't do it because I remember like my sister or whatever watched it with subtitles on because she's one of those weirdos.
maybe you're right. Then maybe it was just Train
I
Spotting.
think Train Spotting actually had.
Because now you're right, Matt. I think thinking back, I had to turn the subtitles on just to be able to understand the pikey.
Because
talk or whatever, 'cause
nobody
I-
understood Brad Pitt even in anywhere. I mean, that's the
I
whole point.
did. The deal was your body had his shot. What the fuck would I want to caravan on fucking wheels? Like it's so perfect, dude. But
I watch movies with subtitles late at night so I don't disturb the missus. So I put the volume on.
We just watch them with subtitles all the time now because, like,
Is that the excuse you use, Mark? So you don't think you're just
Yes.
getting old?
Yeah.
but anymore, like for like subtitles now, like the way they do the volume with TV, even like a good sound bar, like
Yeah.
the music will be so loud and the talking will be so
Oh,
quiet.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is
Oh,
why I
drives
don't
me
like. This
nuts.
is why I don't like
Big
sound
problem.
bars, and I like my system where everything's spread out because then I can actually adjust
Yeah.
it.
You
Makes a
have
big
to
difference,
balance it.
yeah.
Like with Roku, they have an option to where you can balance it. It's helped out a lot. And there's different things in this because I have a sound bar, but I've been able to it was a problem until I figured it out. But there are some like it takes you a while to get kind of like Letterkenny is a great example of having to like every time a new season comes out, my girlfriend and I are very excited. We start watching, we're like, okay, we're gonna have to watch this one again.
You have to
'Cause you gotta
adjust.
you have to
Another
adjust to the
suggestion?
accents.
Another suggestion I would do if you have a sound bar, check it out. There might be an output on it for the center channel. You can use your TV as a center channel. And then that way,
okay.
if you plug it in that way, because 90% of the voices for a movie come out of the center channel.
Mm.
So then you can turn up your TV a little louder than the rest of it so you can actually hear the voices
Oh.
over the other stuff.
Good idea.
See, my problem is I have a nice surround sound system. I just got Atmos speakers and I have the bass
That's what I
kicked
got.
in.
Too,
So and the Atmos is awesome too. Watching some
Yeah.
of these like Back to the Future was phenomenal. That 4K mix, and then
yeah.
I got the bass rumbling, so like the house shakes. So I get in big trouble in that.
No, I understand. I was just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's the beauty of it, though, is if you don't have a sound bar where it's all self-contained and you can actually adjust
That's
it.
a good
then,
suggestion,
it helps. Yeah.
Oh wait, is this the part I'm talking about with the wire? Did you catch the wire on this one, Mark?
I'm not sure if I caught it.
I've seen it on almost every one of them, but yeah, that's just because it's a reverse thing they do.
Yeah. I'm glad you told me that because I didn't know that that's how they do it. It's like they pull it out or whatever, they pull it back, and then they just reverse the shot. I never knew that. I thought they just guided it there.
What's on the wire, Matt? What is it that's on the wire?
So the bolt from the crossbow that hits him in the leg.
Right. Sorry.
Just about
Yeah,
any time
yeah,
you see
okay.
anything getting thrown at any actor in a movie,
Yeah.
whether it hits them or not,
It's the other way around. It's pulling.
yeah, it's
getting
usually
pulled.
reverse
Yeah.
shot and it's on
Yeah.
a string and it's you can usually see it,
Come on,
especially in
those
like the
actors are
Friday the
wimps.
13th
Come on.
movies and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it.
You would
Actually,
think they would
we-
make them green.
It was
to-
quite a bit earlier.
Back
the bit-
then
the
they
bit
didn't have that technology
Yeah.
yet, though, man.
the bit
they
where
could just
Vernon
take that shit
Wells
out.
pulls the dart out of his crossbow out of his leg.
I'm surprised
And
Vernon
that's-
wasn't like, I did it for real.
That's the look in his face is just like
He's like, we ain't faking this shit. Shoot me.
it's one of the best scenes in the movie.
No,
Is-
he's a badass, though, I tell you.
So can I talk about my first time seeing this movie now?
Yeah, let's talk
No.
about your
Oh, I thought you
virginity
said your
time.
first time having sex.
What
for
was
a
your first
second.
time
I was
like?
Oh,
I know.
shit.
Well,
All
he's,
right.
that story doesn't exist yet, Tom.
No, listen, this is one of those rare times that I remember exactly the first time that I've seen one of these movies. I saw this movie January 11th, 2022. And
And you call
And you've
yourself
forgotten
a
it already.
man.
and
Congratulations on losing your virginity.
Look,
That's right.
like I have known about like I've always like it's one of those things where like you know it, but you've never actually seen it. Like Singing in the Rain or any of those other dumb movies. They're like, oh, it's so great, whatever. It's boring, right? But you know the scene that they're gonna refer, like, what it doesn't matter anyway. So I am aware of it and I get it. But watching it today, though, I'm like, oh wow, Fury Road. Like there wasn't really a lot of original stuff in that one, huh? Because like the guy strapped to the front, I'm like, okay, and just thing after thing after thing, I'm like, all right. And then when
What if he was stopping himself?
like for sure. But like it wasn't derivative or anything, but like because it is his own stuff. But when that dude, the humongous guy, which I kept thinking, I'm like, is he saying humongous? Like, I couldn't really tell, because he had that mask on like a dum-dum. And
that's why you got to put the subtitles on.
Totally not Jason Voorhees.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't. Oh boy, Jason would be pissed.
Actually, this predates Jason Voorhees.
Yes, it does. No, you're right.
He didn't steal it from him. He didn't steal it from this guy.
He's got that great kind of Germanic or Scandinavian accent that he's got.
When he said, when that dude said he's the Ayatollah of rock and roll, it broke my mind.
Which doesn't take much. I mean, if you think about it.
Like, I'm like, oh my God, I have been raised in a web of lies, Chris Jericho.
Yeah, right. Not the same thing too, man.
My God.
Y2J? What did you do?
Y2J.
The Ayatollah of rock and roll.
Oh, they're right.
I couldn't get over. I had to stop the movie for a little bit and just process this because it hit.
It does, dude.
Oh,
I
man.
immediately thought of Chris Jericho. I remember being in 6th grade, and I'm thinking, are you freaking kidding me? I thought that was Jericho's unique original phrase.
Right.
Boy, was I wrong. He got that from somewhere for a reason.
Now I know why The Rock embarrassed him when he first debuted on WWF, because he's not as good on the
mic. A lot
mic.
of wrestling stole shit from this, yeah.
Oh, dude, the Alpha. That's why I think the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal. I truly believe that I was saying that earlier on Tom before you got it. I believe that Hawk and Animal were definitely influenced by this movie. And
I think another great reason why some of the look isn't outdated is because a lot of these looks predate a lot of this stuff kind of coming into punk. Like, I mean, punk was a thing, but like a lot of these looks and like the whole hair and the studded leather and all that was more like into like S&M shit.
Oh yeah,
there's a S&M element here. Yeah.
Yes, like, and that's the thing is, look at Wes. Like, he's such a badass with what he's wearing, man. Like, that was the first time you had a guy wearing shit like this in a movie outside of like,
some film about New York gay
and that's what I
bars
love
or
about
something.
the costumes too. And we talked about this when we were talking to Vernon and stuff about how, and that's what he said too, is like everything was stuff that they would have just found. Right, like you got hockey pads and you got all this stuff, and it's stuff that they conform to themselves. And
I think the costume. I actually said to my wife when I was watching it, I think this is a movie that would deserve an Oscar for costume design because they've done such a great job at creating that look.
Didn't get noticed,
all these
but
bits and pieces. Yeah.
I just realized that about Hawk and Animal. Yeah, they did go by the Road Warriors.
Yeah,
that's totally what they went by. So the look and the namesake.
Yeah.
Did they license the name, or did they get permission? Or
it's Vince McMahon. It's fine.
But they did license the name Hulk from Marvel Comics. Actually, if you read the old.
Oh, did they?
Halford.
Yeah,
I think that's because Stan Lee threatened to sue him. Though,
wasn't Rob Halford the guy on the back of Wes's motorcycle?
I wanted to talk about them legitimately, all jokes aside. When I saw them, the first time you see them, right, when they're first chasing Mel, I'm like, is that a chick? Oh, gross, is a chick, right? Because, doing my thing.
This movie is so manly that Wes fucks a dude, man.
Dude, because, I do the bit when I'm alone, too. So I'm like, ooh, gross, a woman. Gotta keep it up. So
that's what she said.
Wes is very emotional when that guy gets killed.
Dude, but like when I was like, oh, that's a dude. And I'm like, what? Like they were just I loved it because it was like, why don't they do this now? They don't make a deal about them being, gay.
Exactly.
They're just there.
Nobody cares in the movie.
It's not like there isn't other women in the gang either. We just saw one.
There is. Yeah.
God, look at the hair on the back of his head. So
beautiful.
They do manage 2 topless scenes, but one of them is a dead woman, so I guess it's...
Well, she was topless before she was dead, so it's okay.
Yeah, I tried not to clip that.
No, thank you. I literally went on my way. I literally went on my way to skip over those photos.
Jump past that bit.
Yeah. But I love this because this is when you see humongous. He's basically he's totally doing it like a WWF promo here. Like, I need you to do this.
Well, and a lot of people got to remember that wrestling wasn't like WWF. I say there's like this was a major inspiration, but one thing, and I don't know if Mark might be old enough to remember this too in the 70s, but like Andy Kaufman does not get enough attention, and he is the guy that I think turned wrestling from just the heel and the good guy going into the ring and throwing it out and duking it out to making it a fucking show, because that guy went out there and he did all the trash talking and he made people believe that he was really this character. And it was like, at that moment, I feel like he almost created the idea of what Vince McMahon ran with for the next 40 years.
That was on Letterman when he had the fight with Jerry the King Lawler, right? Wasn't that
exactly? And that's what I'm saying. All that was kind of like the first time you saw shit like that.
Yep. And then Geraldo Rivera get bitch slapped by one of the wrestlers too a few years later. And that
I think so.
That will never get old.
When he said it was fake.
Vince McMahon stole from every region.
But I'm not a huge wrestling fan. But there's a video for somebody who is a wrestling fan to make. See if you think there's a correlation between Andy Kaufman wrestling women and putting on that big show that he did with Lawler and modern day wrestling, because I feel like that's the first time I remember seeing that, because before that it was very regional and you didn't have the big show, right? You had, the guys would come into the ring and they would do a little bit of a show, but it was normally just kind of like get in, get out.
Yeah, there was no big build up.
Exactly.
Yeah, I watched Bruno Sammartino with my great grandmother, believe it or not, and she loved him because he was Italian. So it's like if Bruno Sammartino was on, we had to watch him wrestle. But it was, like Tom was saying, it was like local, like Channel 9 in New York, or it wasn't on. It was on like a secondary channel. It was never on NBC when then they had that wrestling late on Saturday night. I guess that was after Saturday Night Live or Saturday Night Wrestling. Yeah.
Well, Vince McMahon was the pioneer of that, because he had bought up all the different regional things, and then he's like, well, we're going to do this national. And so like he's instrumental, but like I feel like Andy Kaufman was really one that kind of pushed that into the next level of the whole soap. Let's make it a soap opera kind of thing.
Even at that point, like you had Turner, Ted Turner loved him some wrestling. But he had it like it was one of the biggest shows on TBS or whatever. It was I believe it was Saturday night is when it came on or whatever. But like, and it was big, and that was in the 80s or whatever, 70s.
That was TNT wrestling.
Yeah.
WCW
or whatever, right? And they did stories that because when they were on TV, like you had a continuation, so they could build up like little heel versus babyface kind of a thing. But and it's fine. Like there's a difference between being like Carlos Mancina and like being inspired by something, right? Yeah, like there's no idea that is so unique and new that it hasn't already been thought of by one philosopher or another. That's Descartes. But the point is like all of this, like, and you can, if you want to go Joseph Campbell, you can go back to like the hero with 1,000 faces or whatever, the hero's journey. By the way, you read about that, it's gonna fuck up your enjoyment of movies because you'll be like, wait a minute, beat, like wait, beat, how? You know what I mean? There's very little variation in some Black Panther, one of the worst ones I've seen. I'm like, oh, okay, we're just going, step by step with this, day by day. I'll make it. Sorry, TGIF. But damn it.
It's okay, Mad. You made me start singing it too.
It's okay. All I know is Nick. This is where Bam Bam lets off with the boomerang. He gives that lucky hit to Blondie, and his love is just like,
you get some genuine emotion here.
He is pissed.
Yeah, dude, he is. That struck a nerve. You can look at his eye. You can see they're getting glossy too. You're like, oh man. He's like,
you think Mad was crying at this part too, weren't you, Mad?
Oh man, it actually hit. I'm like, oh shit! Like,
there you go. You were crying at that scene. Yes,
dude,
was it the chaps or is it the boomerang in the head?
So the boomerang guy, it made me sad, and then I'm like, "Ooh, look at that!" Like when he ran up to him, it was a quick fix.
You're saying, "Where's the volleyball? Where's the volleyball?"
I know where I'd put the volleyball.
Somebody in the chat said
the Top Gun volleyball.
It was the Jack of all casuals mentioned that.
Oh my god!
These are some of the cleanest looking people to live in the post-apocalyptic world. You know what I mean?
The trailer's just out of sight, shot. That's why.
Well, there's one
Yeah.
line later on where he says, like Max is saying, like, I miss clean women. Remember clean women and perfume and
Yeah, lingerie.
lingerie.
Remember
I miss
lingerie?
lingerie. Remember lingerie. Yeah. But you're right, though, Matt.
Does he
They
mean
are
he missed
pretty
wearing
clean
it or watching women wearing it?
up. I'm guessing the latter, but yeah.
Just real quick,
You
wanted
never
to
know.
give a shout out to Grant McGregor. He's our new technology, marketing, and diversity chief executive officer over at Mad Barber Entertainment.
Congratulations.
Doing an excellent job.
It's very inclusive of you having an Australian
Yeah, right.
organization. Yeah,
How are we talking
Very-
about an Australian film without one Australian?
I
on
know. Get Grant on.
Yeah,
I didn't even
Grant.
think about seeing if Grant could come on here. Oh well.
Grant, get your ass on here. Let's hear from an Aussie about
He's
an
like,
Aussie
yeah, I
flick.
think it
Yeah,
sucks.
give us the Aussie
The
perspective.
first
'cause
movie was better.
It's truth.
Yep.
What's your favorite color? Blue.
Anyone think the girl looks like Lena Headey from Game of Thrones a little bit?
I got it. I got
A
it.
little
I got
bit,
it.
yeah, a little
I
bit.
got it. I
Clap.
got it. I got it.
Who the
Wait,
hell's
that's
Lena?
Scottish.
You know,
What?
Sarah Connor, Game of Thrones, Cersei.
Lena Headey.
Headey,
Oh, I
yeah,
know what
nice.
you're talking
Headey,
about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Cersei, yeah.
Cersei, yep. What
Yeah,
reminds you
does
of
he
her?
not have a glove?
Oh, look at those
No.
poor fingers.
Poor finger.
Well,
Like,
And then
I assumed
everybody
he had, like,
laughs
metal?
at him, which is so hilarious.
I know.
well,
Yeah,
because
everyone laughs. We're
it's
laughing
fucking funny.
hysterically.
And at the end, they all drive away without him as well.
Yeah. He
God,
finds his
such
way back.
loyalty.
He finds his way back. But no, like I thought he had like a metal glove or like Kevlar lined glove, something to catch the boomerang because
Carol
clearly,
Kid did.
yeah, that's what I'm. Did he?
The kid had
Yeah,
something.
yeah. He had a
uh,
special like a chainmail glove or whatever. Yeah,
This guy was just stupid.
he wasn't too smart.
Nah, he's just not bright at all.
By the way, clearly, what's the dude's name with the mohawk with the chaps with that bubble butt? Wes, right? Clearly, Wes's boyfriend or whatever was like that was a trophy boyfriend because he was not very
It
smart.
was Rob Halford from Judas Priest.
Oh, it was a musician. No wonder they didn't give him any lines.
Oh my god.
He was clearly a trophy wife.
Trophy.
Yeah.
The kid's having a dump there.
He was on a fucking chain.
Right. By the way, and I love when Wes is gonna ride. Like if somebody else is driving a motorcycle, no, I'll ride on the side of it. These are an option. You don't have to ride bitch if you don't want to.
Grant's asking for a link, and Jesse, I think,
Yeah.
was in the chat earlier too.
Yeah.
but-
I sent one to Jesse earlier. Maybe I just got sent to him again. But go ahead and carry on. I'll get the link going.
And everyone stops talking. I'll go.
Everyone
Yeah,
starts
right.
talking. We can't. It's tough to
Like-
talk. Yeah,
Yeah, no. So the kid,
and invite
like,
people to.
I thought the kid did a great job, except I didn't know if he was a kid or not. Like the whole time,
I mean,
every
he
time
had,
I'm
he had,
just
he had
staring
his
at him.
lines down pat.
It was a great piece of acting by that kid, honestly.
Yeah, he
Well,
probably really
Some
did.
of the adults put them to shame. The kid was so good.
What? Name one of the actors like that was a poor performance.
I
Name
didn't
one.
think the good-looking babe was that good. She was more like a sort of. She had like a
but I mean,
white
wasn't it
tracksuit on, and I don't know,
barely
she just-
spoke once he got the boomerang to the head. He was out of the movie.
No,
Is
I
that
mean
not who-
the blonde girl that was in
Yeah.
with the good guys, the one that liked the gyro. Captain.
Oh,
She wasn't
You
particularly
threw me off
good.
when you said beautiful.
Some of the adults were. a
No
little
one
bit,
in that
yeah.
camp could act for shit. I don't know who.
No.
I don't
They
know
weren't
who's the
that
main
good.
guy. Who's
Mel
the
Gibson.
main? No, oh my fucking Christ! The dude that ran the camp. Who's the guy that ran the camp?
Oh, I know
Oh,
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
With the white suit.
What was his
Yeah.
name? Yeah, he had a funny name.
I
Greek
thought it
name or
was.
something.
They all
Mick
had funny
Jagger.
names.
Papagallo.
Thank you, Tom. I
Papagallo.
was about to say. I was like, is that Mick Jagger?
It
Like,
does kind of remind me
He
of
did
Mick
look
Jagger.
like Jagger. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah,
I was like, oh man,
thought it-
David Bowie must have tried to show him up, huh? Like, I don't know.
Dude, he's still broken. Look at him. Just look at him.
and someone in
Yeah,
the
I
chat
can-
the other night mentioned he knew he was from. I don't know if it was Mr. Grant Gregory or someone from Australia, like knew someone who made the boomerang, the metal boomerang. His friend's dad owned a metal shop. I'm trying to remember who that was now. I don't know if it was last week, but he knew.
I
who,
think
made some
I've
of the
re-
stuff. Who was that?
I don't know. I've read somewhere something about boomerangs or whatever that they don't come back. I don't know if that's true or not.
I'm not going to test it with a metal one like that.
No.
No, they do come back. I had
come
like
back?
one as a kid. Yeah, you always it never came like right back to unless you're you kept had to like tweak it
All
and
right,
throw it the right way.
we have officially we have filled out our diversity quota. Welcoming from Australia, Mr. Grant Gregory. How's it going, sir? Want you talk
Speaking
to us
of Rob
about
Halford.
Yeah, and also Rob Halford of Judas Priest as well. Welcome. Thank you for being helpful, other sir.
What's going on, everyone? I heard Mad ask a stupid question about boomerangs. What was it?
Hey, fuck off, man! I read something that was talking about like how unrealistic boomerangs are in movies. I forgot what it was. Whatever.
Well, there's only really one sort of boomerang that's designed to come back. Most of them are designed to be a heavy artillery weapon.
Thank you.
So the ones that are curved like that, they're the ones that come back. But most of the boomerangs are usually quite large, and they've got a really sharp head on it, and it's designed to cut through the air and hit your prey.
See, thank you.
That's why we need an Australian expert, and we can understand that without subtitles. So that was evil what they did to the first movie, right? And the voice, yep.
Dude, even Kip, like whenever Kip, like if like we take a week off or whatever, it takes me a little bit to understand what Kip is saying. I've gone back and watched because I only watch streams that I'm on. So I went back and I'll watch Street Smosh or whatever. By the way, the longest I got forced into watching his entire. It was a good stream. It was and I like Cameron a lot. They were all on that. I kept watching because he hasn't read my super chat yet, so I got trapped into watching it.
Yeah, Tom, Mad keeps pinging me going, he hasn't read my super chat yet. When's he going to read it?
What did I say?
I don't fucking know.
What did I say? Because I have streams that I was on I want to go watch.
I was going to tell you, Tom, not to read it at all.
Got to give more than $1, though. If you give like $50, then we'll read it faster.
I think I gave 10 because and I was kissing ass to Andre. I was like, Andre's so smart and good looking. I assume. No.
And Andre's above all that.
I wasn't here. What is he talking about, Andre?
I was talking about how like I only watch streams that I'm on, but there was more to it. But I said that I got trapped into watching your stream. Cameron was on it the other day. You're talking about Batman and other dumb things. And I got trapped into watching almost the entire thing because you never read my super chat. You skipped it. So I'm just like, I'm ready to go. I can't leave.
Anyway, did we ever get to it?
No.
No. What? Seriously, you gotta tell us if we missed one.
I told 70s.
You kept telling me every 5 minutes. What is that?
And 70s just kept laughing and go, I know.
He's got a wrench. He doesn't have Twitter and shit, so he can't get on.
Oh, yeah, I know.
He does have my number now, though. But
I was going to ping you, Tom, and say, don't ever read that super chat.
You'll lose a view immediately when you do. No, I don't like being that guy in the chat. Like, I get why people do it, you know what I mean? But like, read it, because I know you guys have like a ton of fucking shit coming in. So like,
not really. They just thought it was from you, and they just ignored it.
But nothing really. Too. It just shows me I'm winning.
So see, 70s. That's one reason for you to get Twitter, then, right? So you could send messages.
No, I'll never. I'd rather have my teeth extracted without anesthetic and my fingernails pulled out and needles poked in my eyes than join Twitter.
You make it what you put in it. Like what you put in it is what it's going to be. If you put in hate and bullshit on there all the time, that's what you're going to get back. If you're in it just to talk to people in DMs,
look at that. You put them to sleep. They're snuggling.
Maybe I'll get a secret account so I can just stalk you all.
I tell you this, he's actually a real. Like when I was watching this, I'm like, man, he's like a legit, really nice, like not nice, but like really effective and good leader. He didn't overreact to this guy.
He's a rational guy. He's a rational guy.
He's like, hey, take him back.
We could have peace.
He's like, here, just cry over. You can cry over here. You got a shoulder to cry. Just come here. Come here. Let out those tears. You don't need no tissue. You got my shoulder here.
I almost believed him, though, when he said, we'll let you all go if you just let us take the gas. I almost believed him. Maybe it would have happened that way.
I still do.
All they wanted was some gas.
Yeah.
Well, really, both sides.
But just like most of America now.
Yeah. So Mr. Grant Gregory, let's hear about some Aussie perspective on this flick. I'm assuming you've seen The Road Warrior.
Yeah, it's taught to us in kindergarten.
And In fact, in the nursery, when you're just a little baby, they show you the first movie. Kindergarten, you get to this one.
Did you get a good grade?
It's a lot easier to understand when you're a toddler. No, I mean I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of any of Miller's work. Bias aside, him being Australian and that. But the irony of where they filmed this out at Broken Hill is now an actual desert town. There is no water anywhere in there. So, they picked a real desert part. It's a desert town, but they picked a real deserted area, and even their areas that were inhabitable are now inhabitable because of all the erosion and they had a drought there for nearly 15 years. That was like a no rain drought, so it was pretty bad.
I think you could blame the film crew for that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I can accept that.
So no one's in Broken Hill anymore. Then it's totally ghost.
There's a few people live there, but it went from being a viable town to
So where
people won't sell property there anymore.
Is it actually out in the central outback, or is it further north?
It's the desert of New South Wales, so it's in the
so it's quite far south in New South.
But it's quite inland. So we're looking at probably about 500-600 kilometers easily from the from the coast.
I see.
Yeah, I'm telling them that, Alan. Don't worry.
that's one of those little people, Mad. That's one of those little people.
Yeah, she wanted me to tell about the infrastructure they build in and everything. It's not all bad. I know she's really big on infrastructure.
Tell me, you did show her this movie earlier today, didn't you? You sat her down and got her to watch the movie.
She was too busy watching Wiggles.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, and
Wiggles are big there, right? Yeah.
We see where our priorities are lined up.
Where's your fucking hair?
I purposefully timed that when Matt was talking.
Yeah,
anyway, Toxic Man flew for $10. Says, ever think that there's an Australian Mad Mardigan that complains about the Die Hard films because he can't understand Bruce Willis's accent?
bloody Americans. It's truth.
First of all, I did not complain at all about. The
Toxic
Australian
Man
accent.
flew again for $5. Says, don't let him fool you. Grant's favorite Aussie film is Strictly Ballroom. Thank you, Todd.
That's an Australian film. I've never seen it. The Canadian accent.
It's one of Baz Luhrmann's best.
It's a pretty good movie.
Oh my god.
Letterkenny. That's the one I struggle to really get sometimes. Like,
God, that's easy to understand.
well, like not if you haven't watched it in a while. Like you got to warm up to some of it, you know.
No, they're not even in the Maritimes. They're only in Ontario. I mean, it's practically American.
Like I understood that you said words.
Season of Shetland. I couldn't understand a word. I needed subtitles.
Shetland, geez, Brakeman. There's been a murder.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like there's a marker. Oh, it's a marker.
Yeah.
It's like it's a murder.
I tell you what, even I don't understand them because they're from the islands away up in the north, so they're more Viking than Scottish.
You ever see that? What is it? Mind's Eye. It takes place on the Isles of Man, which, by the way, has the greatest flag ever.
See the Isle of Man. There are no
Isle
isles, just one.
Okay, Isle of Man.
Just get it right, will you?
So
It's Jamaican, the Isle of Man.
Isle of Man.
Man, I and I.
all right, it's the 90s. How is it that you can have such a nice flick? I mean, sorry, not flick, a car like that, and just look at that nice several years after all the incident happened.
Is it the 90s? Oh, in the movie. Yeah, it's in the 90s.
Yeah, early
Set in the
90s.
distant future. Set in the distant future.
Yeah.
Set in 2022.
I don't. By the way,
That's
fix your
very
mask, dude.
nice.
Like you're covering up. I get it. Somebody that has to wear a Jason mask here and there. Like I get how difficult it is to keep your eye from riding up. But
God,
Anyway.
thing would be so hot.
Especially
yeah,
there,
dude.
my God.
It really is. It
Talk says it's a 73 Ford pickup. And Soul Assassin, that's actually California in a few years.
It's called a
Well,
ute.
there's always hope. Yes.
I don't know if I want to hope for that. We do have friends over there that we
true.
want to live.
Well, certain parts of it then.
Yeah, we can compromise at certain parts, but
Perhaps a small strip along the coast. Anyway.
when I watched this, I remember thinking, okay, no, this movie kind of feels like it has like a complete ending, like the way T2 does. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy the third movie, but and at least it was definitely far better than what T3 did. But it's just like they could have left it off at this, and I feel like it would have been fine, even without the remake. Even if the remake was somehow good, they could have just left that Mad Max 1 and 2, and it could have just been just fine the way it was with these two movies.
Well, if you look at the ending of this movie, it's set up for that. It's set up to say that's it. He goes off
Yeah,
into the
it
distance.
feels
We never hear
definitive.
of him again. And that's it.
Yeah,
Yep.
it feels like
Yeah.
a complete ending, like the way like T2 did. Like it didn't try to set anything up, wasn't trying to be like, okay, hey, there's a hint of this. Like,
Yeah,
it
but
felt
him
final.
but him walking away doesn't mean that he won't get into any more adventures.
Was he need to go to sleep or something?
No, because he came back in another movie. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
I know he did. We know.
Well, they only came back this because they weren't going to make another movie, but the Australian government gave them a huge amount of funding to be able to go towards it. So
Make
it
another
cut
movie.
it cut down hugely on their expense. But yeah, Miller wasn't even going to be a part of the third one.
Mm.
man, there are so many movies that like copy this this style of like what it looks like in the after the world falls. Like Class of 1999. Is that one? That's another one, right?
God, I haven't
Anybody?
seen that in ages.
And there's like
Right?
Dead End Drive-In and
Yeah. Just a ton of like I loved it in that day, like in that time where like all the bad guys were like they were punks. You know what I mean? Like very elaborate dressed gangs.
Mm-hmm.
Fashion
no one-
mattered, right? Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Like RoboCop had a lot of punk gangs in there. Batman and Robin. Oh man, they had so much neon. Loved it.
Ooh, this is it. Hungry for Bantha BBQ Burger says over 15 Italian movies copy this movie. Man, WWF is copying this. Hungry for and now sorry, not hungry, but Italian movies are copying this. I mean,
Mhm.
God, Mad Max Fury Road was copying Mad Max. Mad Max was just it was definitely a trendsetter. Oh, there's that
Some
girl
people-
who go back to that one girl.
Yeah,
I
okay,
was
yeah.
calling the Whoville
There's
girl.
Olivia
Corman
Newton-John.
made about. I was
Right.
going to say Corman made about 500 movies.
Yeah.
Ripped off Mad Max.
Okay,
Where'd my slideshow go?
Well,
I hit the wrong thing.
Waterworld, you could say, was a Mad Max ripoff.
Okay.
In a sense.
Yeah,
So-
I can see that, but it's water based, so it's better.
Mad Max of the Sea.
Yeah. Mad Max of the Sea, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
What
Okay.
number was on?
It was like 900 something, but there's a. I remember when I
Aquamax.
first saw this back when I
Steel
first saw
Dawn.
There
this.
it is.
Steel Dawn.
There's that one girl. I'm like, God, she looks like she came from. She's one of the Whoville girls from The Grinch.
This girl,
Al-
maybe.
Not her. Just go. It's a one with the.
She's wearing like a light pink.
Yes, thank you, Dustin. That's
The one that looks like
Yeah,
Olivia
right here.
Newton-John.
That's a Whoville
Right here,
girl.
It's Olivia
Yeah.
Newton-John.
She's a Whoville girl.
There you go.
That's the
Yeah.
one that's fucking fall in
Cyborg.
love with the gyrocopter guy.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Monkey Jeebus. Thank you. For
She's got a very
subscribing.
good handle on the top of her head for grabbing. various-
Snowpiercer, Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Steel Dawn. Patrick Swayze. That's a ripoff of Mad Max.
Ooh. Yeah. Let's see. If I can think of any other.
There was another one, and I can't think of it now. It was a sort of low budget movie made roughly the same time.
I don't know.
Oh, we can't make fun of Whoville girl. She died.
That's
She did. Stop.
I don't know what Whoville girl is or means.
I wonder if that kid put notches in the boomerang for one for each finger cut off or each head cut off. Yeah.
Wait, what did you say? Oh, sorry. I thought of the finger scale immediately from the Last Boy Scout.
Wow.
How many fingers? Yeah.
Golly, he's like, fingers.
Oh yeah, this was like, oh okay, you're special.
And,
And that was in the first. Wasn't that music box in the first movie too? I'm trying to remember, or no? Was it?
I don't think it was.
By the way,
but
sorry, I was just gonna say I think the score like was a little much for me. It was a little overpowering at times.
okay.
Am I alone on that one? Like I felt like it gets like kind of drowned out, like all of the other sounds that were happening. Like
I think that's the whole point of that scene was it was supposed to do that because it was focusing on that particular wind up thing. You know, It was trying to humanize the kid a little.
No, not there. I mean, like throughout the movie, like it was a continuous thing. Like,
well, it wasn't at the same level of Dune, but yeah, I know what you mean.
I can see what you're saying. There's a good point to be made about that.
Striker, that's the one I'm thinking of. Striker, that movie.
It's another one of those like where the score becomes your focus in what you're watching rather than it supporting what you're watching and helping that be even better. It just like you start to notice it. Whenever you notice it, like for me anyways, whenever I notice the score, I realize that I'm not in the movie as much as I would have been if they, would have relax a little bit, bro. We get it.
Oh yeah. So how about Mel Gibson die? I love how he just has to dye the side of his hair, even though with the dyed hair on the sides, he still looks super young. Like he can't even dye his way out looking old.
I forgot they did wipes in this with their transitions.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
I thought that was a so I've known a couple of people that have had birthmark kind of things with their hair where they'll have like a blonde patch. I thought that's kind of what it was. Like this one dude had a teddy bear in the back of his head. I thought that may have been it. I don't know. It wasn't gray. It was more of like a light brown or a dark blonde.
See, I thought since it was, I can see what you're saying, Matt, but I thought since it was coming from the side of the temple, direct side, which is usually like a common look for us dudes, I that's the vibe I got from it. That it was them trying to make him look, because since Gibson wanted to have his character look a little bit more roughed up and like old and jaded, as mentioned earlier, I thought that was part of the look was to do that. But maybe they were just going for a simple spot as well. And 70s has something to show off real quick.
We were talking about Mad Max ripoffs. This is one that I remember particularly. Striker. I think it was about 1983 or so.
Matt. The score is brilliant.
Sure that's a ripoff?
I'm not criticizing the score or how whether or not it is good. What I'm criticizing is the use of the score in the movie. Big difference.
All right.
So the score in this always, for years, I thought it was Brian May of Queen, but it was. It's nothing to do with Queen. It's a different Brian May.
Oh, it's not that Brian May? I thought the same thing. 70s.
No, it's a different guy entirely.
Oh, you got to be kidding me!
Because pre-internet, I had no idea. I thought, oh look, Brian May did the score. For years, I thought it was him. No, it's an Australian guy. He did the score for the first movie too.
Wow!
I didn't know
glad
that.
you mentioned that because I was gonna.
There's not a squealing guitar anywhere to be heard.
I have not seen Dot Striker.
He did Gallipoli too. I think this Brian May.
Should I see Striker?
Another Gibson film.
It's actually quite good. I quite like it, but I think it was made around about 83. New World Pictures. It's okay. It's your average C movie.
What? Strikers. No, it's a top Z level movie.
Top Z level, yes.
Top Z level movie. Okay.
So it's pretty funny actually. It's quite good.
Oh, sorry.
What is it, Mad?
Solar Kids. That's another movie that kind of feels like this, right? But kid wise.
Yeah, it inspired a lot of movies for sure.
They have roller skates in the desert.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you're right. I don't know if the name of it.
As everyone knows, he's the perfect vehicle for desert terrain.
It really worked out well for them. Yeah, and there was some kind of game that they would play, and there was no water. They had to find water. Is a whole. But if you haven't seen Solar Kids, do yourself a favor. Yeah. Hell comes to Frogtown with
Hell comes to
Rowdy.
Frogtown.
Yeah, Rowdier. Piper.
Oh.
There's a bit more of a sexual edge to that one, though. I would say.
A little bit with the frog lady. Yeah.
But what else are you gonna do?
Fun fact: that was Frog Lady's first ever movie from Mandalorian. That's where she got.
I had to.
Yeah.
So
who
I had
tied
to.
Was it Mad Max? Was it Max that tied this piece of wood to the gyro captain by the chain? Did he do that? I must have missed that bit.
Dude, how gross is that with Toxic Man? Nick Weiser flavored number 3, post-apocalyptic leather thong sweat.
I don't want to bottle that. Oh.
Mad's gonna wear that.
Like the dog was vomiting then.
Must have had a hell of a rash at the end of the day.
Oh, my apologies. Solar Babies, not Solar Kids. Did I say Solar Babies?
I don't know.
That's the sequel when they're all grown up.
Oh, here's the lingerie. Yeah, smell of bicycle seats. Why was he sniffing bicycle seats?
Well, dude, I think Mel Gibson at one point in this movie ate dog food too.
Yeah,
he's eating dog food.
Yeah.
So that was he was. No, it makes you wonder. Like, obviously, I don't think it was actual dog food on the production of the movie, but can you imagine if it actually was just to be invested in the root of the character? So he's in the mode. So this is how savage I am. I'm eating dog food type of thing.
You've got to cut your budget somewhere, and they just filmed him eating, and they went, "Yeah, that'll do for the film." That's just the weird habit that he has.
Mel Gibson just eats
It's
dog
cheaper.
food.
I mean, it's good horse meat.
And I like how Mel's got his costume.
No,
Got like
unfortunately, it's not horse meat. Actually.
Smells
You're not allowed to
good.
put
Dog
horse
food
meat
always
in
smells
anything.
good.
Jesus.
Yeah,
My
not anymore.
bad.
Back then, I think they were though.
I'm
I
getting
think
No, they
yelled at in the
banned horse
chat.
meat food here in I think it was like the late 40s.
Oh, that's no good because I heard
Yeah,
it's
I know,
delicious.
it's ridiculous.
But Mel's costume's pretty cool. But
Probably just
one,
more because all the other canned food had already been eaten, and yeah.
It happens, man. Like everybody's had dog food at one point in their life.
Have they?
It depends. If you're a
Toddlers.
man.
All right,
I was gonna
Matt.
dog food or cat food.
Matt, what was your favorite dog food?
Oh, my favorite. Oh, kibbles and bits.
Kibbles.
Oh, you don't like the wet stuff, then you like the dry stuff.
You didn't like the sausages as much?
If I have a choice, you mix it, right?
Or bacon?
Like, yeah.
You
Huh?
got to get the one that has the gravy in it.
No, I don't like the gravy. I like carne asada, not asada. We go over this all the time, Grant.
Hey, Grant,
Sorry, I
I've got a
don't
question
speak
for
German.
you. I have a question for you. My wife we watched the third movie after this, Thunderdome, and she said, "Oh, there's camels in that. Why are there camels in Australia? You guys have got loads of camels, haven't you?"
Yeah, we have the highest amount of camels out of any country in the world.
Yeah, and they're a bit of a nuisance, are they not?
Not as much as the emus, but we don't
Ah.
want to touch on that subject.
Yeah. But yeah, there's millions of camels in Australia.
But there's,
I
I mean,
never
you
knew
think
that.
that Australia is
Never
kind of like wildlife, like I don't know, everything's trying to kill you.
Everything's trying to kill you.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the biggest thing
Even the
camels have to
Aussies.
worry about is the wild donkeys. Donkeys are the things that are really crazy because especially
on.
with when you're dealing
We
with like
s-
millions of heads of cattle, they'll put a couple of dozen donkeys in there, and donkeys are better than guard dogs because they'll donkeys will bite and kick and
They
they'll-
kick
they'll-
ass?
oh yeah, I've seen two
Boo.
donkeys maul the shit out of a freaking out of an ox. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
Like yeah, they are, and they're very they like bond with them. They're like loyal. It's this weird thing. So
That's
and
interesting.
if an animal does something to one of them, they'll go hunt it down.
By the way,
So
if you
it
do
out,
it long enough, something's gonna happen.
Well, Matt, you do like it dry.
That's what I'm saying. Like it, yeah, that's fine. 'cause
Dry
eventually
martini.
Speaking of-
something's gonna get wet, huh?
Ugh.
He likes the dry hump. He likes the dry hump.
wait,
Like
isn't
the
that the
camel.
title of the Kamala Harris book?
Oh,
Oh my
what do they call
god.
cattle stations, by the way, in Australia?
Are they called what?
Camel races. What?
Cattle stations.
Yeah, we got cattle stations. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just a
That's an Australian thing.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know how else to describe it. Call it a cattle station. It's just where cows gather and you put them onto a truck.
To
Yeah.
take to the next cattle station, and then you get them
That's
off
right.
the truck.
Yeah, and then you turn them into hamburgers.
See why instead of going for fuel, why don't they just settle for camels and all that?
Well, there's plenty of oils in camels. You might be able to run it on the diesel if you.
Yeah, but it's hard to squeeze them.
Well, no, they don't do well there though. Like Burke and Wills, they had some camels when they went on their little trip in Australia. Grant knows who I'm talking about. They brought camels with them. Did not go well for those camels.
Yeah, but they were going over mountains and shit. They weren't
Yeah.
going through desert terrain. So, yeah.
They were going through Australia. That's
They needed
They were
llamas for
going
that
through
shit.
bush and scrubland. That's completely
Yeah.
different. So,
Llamas are what you need for that.
Refuel your cows. Right.
yeah. You a lot of people don't know this, but you have to rotate those udders every like 300 miles.
That's right.
yeah, it's true.
It's weird that Matt knows one thing about female anatomy.
I know what I'm not looking for.
The udder twister is the name
Yeah.
of his favorite bar.
I don't
know-
understand why
I can
this guy's
identify
gun
what I
is
don't
so
like.
shiny all the time.
Huh?
Like, the guy's gun is always so shiny.
Oh yeah, right. I loved the whole bit with the whole shotgun. He actually didn't have any shells like the whole time. I just really liked. I'm like, oh, this dude.
Yeah. Here's the other topless scene.
Oh yes,
Yo, did you-
toxicity. Oh, that timed out well.
Yeah.
No, I had it good. It was good. It was
Okay.
All
I
clear.
swear I didn't have that I didn't have the comment highlighted like because of that. That was just good timing.
good timing. Yeah.
Oh,
But
thank
it
God. I
seemed all clear to
appreciate
me.
that. Ugh.
Yeah, you don't want to see those women, right? Right, man.
No, like I saw that ass. I'm like, oh, it's a woman.
They get sunburned in Australia there. Yeah.
Man
It's
needs
very pale for desert dwellers.
man
That's
needs
for sure.
dry man ass. Dry
Is
man
there
ass.
anything better?
I mean, stunts
One
in this
thing
movie
better.
are so awesome. It's like we used to play Car Wars or like, Steve Jackson games. I don't know if anyone played D&D, then you'd play this, but and we're watching. It's like this is just like Car Wars. This is so freaking awesome. I mean, the way they did these stunts and
Oh, I know.
all the practical effects. And
Did you
like,
guys
film
ever
and-
go to the destruction derbies? I don't know what you would call them here. Where just the old
Demolition
cars, just
derby here.
Demolition
Demolition.
derbies. Yeah, we used to go
Yep.
to those as a kid. They were great.
This
Yeah,
movie's
those-
totally
They had like the figure 8 races
Mm.
with
Yeah.
like
I
school
think they
buses
had-
and shit.
It was
Yeah.
part of like the monster truck rally I went to one time when I was a kid.
Yeah, they just smash the shit out of each other. It's fantastic.
By the way, Tom's still here. Tom, did you know you're still here?
Yeah, I'm just working in the background. What's
Naked
up?
Fame
Alright.
is got a great point. Naked Fame is correct.
Yeah, right here. Look, the humongous. I like how Naked put the humongous, and his
Yeah.
people know how to party. The good guys are hoarding the gasoline. Mad Max is the villain here. Ooh, we're doing some
Yeah.
Cobra Kai perspective now.
Yeah, the hippies inside this place are busy hoarding that life-giving gasoline.
I think that only comes like if you don't believe in
Eloy.
property rights. Like if you think that just because they're hoarding something that you need, then they're the bad guy. Then,
Yeah, but they didn't.
that's-
They took it over from somebody else, and they didn't just
Yeah,
found
but-
this
Well,
place.
right, but how
you're
far
missing the
back are
main
we going
point.
to go?
Keeps them cross state lines.
That's right.
Yeah, but they put the
That's
effort in
right.
and figured out how to use it and refine the oil and turn it into gasoline.
Well, we don't know if the people before them had all that figured out or not.
State lines. State
But, like,
And
lines.
he's carrying an unregistered shotgun.
And they're selling illegal cigarettes there too, probably,
That's
right?
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
pretty sure
black
that
stamp.
that shotgun's fully automatic. Pretty sure that's one of those AR shotguns.
That's
you know,
right.
Say-
Yeah.
the
With
Sega-
a long,
Those
long
gun, dude.
barrel.
Sega
Yeah.
72. Yep.
Oh,
Long
here's a
barrel.
hot take. Hungry for Bantha says humongous is a socialist. Ooh.
You know, yeah, actually, I could probably see that more. Like, he's like,
yeah.
share your shit.
It's like
I love that.
Yeah, they didn't
shotgun.
create
It's
the
awesome.
gas. The Naked Fame is right. They stole it. They took it from someone else originally. In fact, they stole it from the ground.
Stole from the dinosaurs.
think
Yeah,
about the
but
ground.
in this kind of world, isn't it like, well, I've got it, it's mine until you can take it from me.
What?
Oh, true. Like
I
a free for at
true,
it. Survival
true.
of the fittest. No, that's a good point, Dustin.
That's moral relativism, Dustin. I'm not sure that.
I don't
Yeah.
care. That's why I have the most guns, okay?
Just today.
I love how divisive this. I love how
State AOC. AOC's got the vid, so God bless her.
Yeah.
Hope she's okay.
I
It'll be okay.
love how divisive this movie has like become. Like people are like, no, Humongous was a hero, did nothing wrong. Others, he's a communist. Like I'm like, oh,
He was the
it is
voice
like
of sanity in
modern
this
day.
movie.
It is like modern day.
Preached peace.
Did who?
Monkey, yeah, one
Humongous.
chance at real communism.
He said, "I
Mad
offered you
Max
peace."
ruins it.
That's right. Mad Max. It was all going to work out great till Max turned up.
That makes sense.
These people would have been peacefully killed for their
Peaceful.
own good.
Yeah.
It was a mostly.
they would have been
mostly peaceful
enslaved.
slaughter.
It was mostly peaceful.
Kindly enslaved. Come on, let's be real here. If you have to add the word kind to it, makes it okay.
I mean, you don't have to walk anywhere. You're just put on the front of a car and chauffeured around.
No, it's
It
luxury.
was a free Uber back then, right?
It
As long
makes
as you
sense.
rode in the front.
It makes sense.
Well,
this
where
is
the fuck
Austra-
you gonna go?
Yeah.
Nothing's open.
Well, there's,
Wait, you
there's
can
a
leave
shop
it
for you,
there.
man.
Damn it. It makes sense this is in Australia because they're like, yeah, what would they do with Eudis? Like we gave them jobs and money, because they tend to do that to other people too as well. Grant knows what
Don't
I'm
come in
saying.
with your Kiwi accent.
There was not a single can of Foster's in this whole movie.
I know.
Leave it there.
Yes, because no one drinks the fucking shit.
I know that. That's the funny part.
No, listen,
No
that
one
is
drinks
true.
Fosters in Australia.
No,
No.
they don't. Foster is just like Australian for beer. So there, every beer is a Foster's. Because
Well, a
Foster's
friend of
is
mine a couple
popular
years
beer
ago
there.
was
beer.
married to an Australian girl, and she came over here from Australia, and we were like super excited to like take her to Outback and shit.
What's
How'd
the fuck with her?
that go,
You made me
Justin?
laugh, Jeff.
She was just like, I mean, it's campy as shit. We know it's not real Australian, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, like the women's room is for Sheila's and shit, you know, and like.
You see, in Britain, you could take them to any bar because all the bar staff are Australian in Britain. So it's,
It's
it make them
crazy
feel
that
at
how
home.
many. Yeah, it's ridiculous that how many Aussies are over there at freaking running
Oh
bars.
shit! Stream unavailable. I think we're in trouble, boys.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oh, what did you do?
stream suspended for policy violations.
Yep,
Oh, shit.
What did I do?
Someone
Yeah.
flagging us.
stream's gone.
Oh, you know what it could be? It could be that naked ass we got on the screen.
Well,
Oh,
it could be. It could be.
possibly.
It could be 30 sec. Is it?
Somebody's
it could be
flagging
the 30
us.
second
I mean,
thing.
it might think that you're actually playing the
We'll look and
The
see if
movie?
it's for copyright claim.
Okay, it
Not the
says
first time.
suspended. The stream the stream hasn't technically stopped.
Yeah.
No,
Okay. It could
no.
just be on the.
It'll
30
come
second
back
thing.
on.
Yeah.
Just
Usually
keep
you
a-
have to stop showing whatever it is that you're showing, and they'll bring it back up for you.
So take everything off the screen. Just keep us on there, and we'll talk for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
This happened.
Whoa,
No, the other way
whoa,
around.
Whoa. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
It's the most
Now you're
ridiculous
pushing
thing
it.
ever.
Crazy.
Heck, I'm just writing chat. Don't go.
We don't know
away.
what
Well, a
it
lot of
was,
times they
uh,
doesn't realize they're stills.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. Is it that or is somebody flagging the stream?
Well, I think
But
the other
put
one
it-
is
I'll
flag
make an
it would,
overlay to put over that Nick for the next time. We'll
Yeah.
put like a big
Well, yeah.
gray screen.
We'll do
I'll-
that for next time. I've obviously I've been getting hit with copyright claims
I
each time, but
think it-
each time I keep beating it. So
I think it was Foster's. The mention of Foster's was what did it.
Yeah.
How many products have you watched that have been Warner Brothers?
Oh.
last week Warner Brothers hit me with Goodfellas, but I beat it.
Yeah, because Warner Brothers will
That's
flag
weird that they doing
absolutely
that.
everything.
Because
But
this
they-
is
they usually pretty
WB,
quick to
isn't
let
it?
go.
Yeah.
they even
Yeah,
do
but
the
it's got to be
name.
just because you're showing so many pictures in sequential order. That
I don't think so. WB hit me with Street Smarts, like
Oh,
just
here
because
we
of the
go,
name
Jake.
of it.
that is the
Foster.
weirdest thing ever.
Are we back,
Oh,
chat?
actually, you know what it was? You
Can
said
you hear
Foster's
us?
is Australian for
Yeah.
beer, which is a copyrighted
Can you hear
slogan.
me?
Oh, is that what
Probably
happened?
is.
I didn't even do it in an accent. It doesn't count if you don't do it in an accent.
No, it was actually done in an American accent. It was to sell, piss water to the Yanks when they come over.
All right.
I'm
In the
pretty sure it's an
70s,
Australian accent.
1970s in Britain, Grant, we thought Foster's was exotic. In the 1970s.
I mean,
Alright.
it's just a
I-
giant can of beer. I mean, that's really
in
what
Britain,
it is.
you use flour
Yeah.
as a seasoning, so
I've always known that it's like cerveza. You know what I mean in Spanish. Foster in Australia means. Wait, are we on? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
waste this bit on you
Nah,
assholes.
I'm trying to make sure.
No,
that,
we're not
no,
on right now.
No, we're not back on.
Chat's still going, but
Yeah, chat's still going. I'm just like, okay, let me check my emails here. See what's
Sorry,
going
Nick.
on. No, it's
still
okay.
30
Hey.
people watching, so nobody's left.
Yeah, right. No one's. It's like they're expecting. I've actually gotten no emails from YouTube about this.
you should put a poll up
And
in the
my
in
last-
the
Oh,
chat.
we're
so we've
back.
got
We're
something
back.
to do.
We're back.
We're back.
Woo!
We are.
Mad, you
Wait,
can put
never
your
mind.
penis
All right,
away again.
yeah, we
We're
got to
back.
put our dicks back.
Yeah, put your dicks back.
Stop. We back. And then Yeti says, "Stop sharing your screen." I've had this. Yeah, Yeti. I got hit with Die Hard, not during the stream, but the next morning after I got hit, and then Goodfellas, I got hit the morning after as well. But I fought against both of them, and I won them both back. So. We'll have to pull a Fat Muller thing, and we'll just have to do it
Yeah,
overhead.
I'll make a big overlay.
I
on
have
it.
one. If you want me to send it to you right now, like
Well,
So
it's
anyway,
okay.
as we were
Next
saying
point.
about the Jews, we'll just continue that conversation.
Juice about the juice.
The juice.
The juice.
The juice
Yeah,
that he
yeah,
can
yeah. That
run.
makes the cargo room. The juice.
Yeah, yeah.
He
the
can run
juice.
real good.
Oh,
Nice.
Gasoline is the juice.
Yeah.
oh, sorry,
Oh,
guys.
no,
One,
Nick is-
just keep
Nick is-
one or
Nick
two
is the
stills
juice.
up. Yeah.
There we go. Oh yeah, overlays on her. You know what? And they probably not. I just have not taken the time to learn it. So that's
Here,
pretty much all that it is.
I got one here. I'll send it. It's no big deal.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
put
I
it
have
in
a
the
bunch
Toxic
for my
Tuesday.
channel.
Don't trust anything Mad sends you. Don't click on it.
You
Don't
can
click
trust
that shit.
everything I've ever sent
Don't
to
click
anyone
on that
ever.
shit.
No easing the Jews, buddy.
Or maybe if I slow it down too, I think too probably
The
if you
grindage.
show them too quickly.
That could be part of it.
It's really weird how this picture thing, it lets you know, that totally makes me think, okay, this is totally a bot checking over these things. This is not like an actual human being who's
No,
like,
there's no
oh,
humans
hey.
doing this shit.
It probably takes
Well-
a screenshot every X amount of seconds on sort of thing, and because it's still in time with what the movie would be, because the frames have been going across relatively quick, so it might think it's an actual movie that's being played, and especially the way that streaming's cutting down on people just watching videos.
Humongous Susan had to deal with Mad 32, and we had an anonymous tip.
Your feet stink, bitch.
What? What happened?
And
Nothing.
this is anonymous for $5. Just says this is just to tell YouTube to shove it. And yeah, Isaiah Matthew brings on a good one. Well, I noticed when you're scrolling through the video, it kind of looks like it's playing the movie. Yeah, and you know what? That could be what it was, but it's okay. I mean, it's already nearing the second half of the movie. Even if you want to do like a minor jump, Mark, you can just
Yeah, maybe I'll jump.
I'll get rid of it.
I'll do it manually. Maybe I'll do it. I'll do it like much longer, and then I'll skip through like once in a while.
Go ahead. Just get through a chunk. Get to when the plane where he's being carried on the plane.
Oh yeah, the plane.
It's funny because he's just kind of like. Mel Gibson's all cold and he's on a plane just good. Then all of a sudden the guy's like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Kind of like when you're totally out of it. And everyone just sounds all. Oh, this is what EFAT does: a quick scene, then no image, then scene, then no image. Man, they really make you cover your ass. So I'm assuming then, Tom, this has happened to you several times then with images or with anything.
I've never really done anything like this.
Okay.
So I haven't had to deal with that, but yeah. So I'm not sure.
All right, I'd send a couple. So they also have if you're talking the EFAP movies or whatever, not only do they have like the overlay or whatever, they'll do these cuts to where it'll zoom in on like one of them in the Discord chat or whatever, or they'll zoom out, or they'll play a meme. Like they're always breaking it up so that even with the overlay, you're not actually seeing it long enough for them to be like, hey.
Yeah, it could be a movie.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
it's much easier to do when you're doing it post. I mean, you can do it live, but you'll need someone dedicated purely simply to do all this, through OBS or something.
You know what I could do is put in like a blank screen or something, like a Nick Toxic Tuesday Nick Wiser's every like so many slides. You just have that pop up for a second too, to with the overlay.
Don't complete the precision instrument. Oh, I remember. And then the kid. Oh, Bam Bam. He's actually one of my favorite characters in the movie. I like the Bam Bam kid. I really do. Oh, you guys just went all quiet and silent on me.
Oh, sorry. Well, I sent you those things. I can get back into the bit. Hold on. What was I saying before? It was a good one. I didn't want to waste it. It
was like a lifetime ago, Mads. But yeah, because me turning down the sound, watching this movie stop frame with subtitles is entertainment.
Well, that does bother me, because in Street Smashers, we always have to be careful. I'll run a movie that I find and see on a alternate channel and just run it by itself, right, and see if it gets taken down before I try to set it up for us to watch it
before you upload it, right? Yep.
Yeah. So I'll do it on a channel that I don't give a shit if it takes down or not. It's just there to be to do that. All words are made up. Anyways, There are.
Naked Fame, to answer your question, said, "Does this fall under phase?" Because no, when I file go again when I dispute it, they usually get rid of it in a few days. So it does. But the thing is, as we say, it's totally got to be a bot that's checking this and not an actual person. Because I guarantee, if an actual human being saw what we were doing, they say, "Oh, okay, they're inspecting the movie, they're reviewing it, they're critiquing it, they're talking about it, they're not actually watching the movie, or they're not playing some extended clip." But obviously with the frequency of the photos and how much they change, they're probably getting the defaulted idea that it's automatically a movie and not the actual photos. And there's JD Cast. Yeah, it's fair use 100%. Yeah, it is, but that this bot clearly is not aware of that, and that's just.
And the idea of what fair use really is when it comes to YouTube is still under debate. I mean,
God, yeah. That
it
another policy that is.
It shouldn't be, but I mean, it's still under. I mean, Congress still meets, and
it's vague for a reason.
Yeah,
so they can interpret it in certain ways. Yes.
It's, by the way, it's not just like what they see on the screen. Like, again, we got 2 strikes. Because the show, our stream's name was Street Smarts. We got strikes because of that fucking game show in the early 2000s that was called Street Smarts on the WB. Came on at 3 a.m. Because of that, we got hit. And when I was looking at the strike or whatever, like, normally they would add a clip for you to take out. Like, if you want to take this out of your stream or whatever, or like as evidence for what they're saying, nothing. And YouTube still gave me strikes. Didn't even bother asking for just the bare minimum of proof. And they're like, "What's that?" They have, okay, done. He has his strikes. And that was bend over. And I bend over.
They went away after 90 days or something? Or
what? No.
Strikes.
No.
Oh, it was a copyright claim.
No, it was a strike. I got 2 strikes, bro.
The straight chat. It was a channel strike, not a video. It was a channel strike.
Yeah, 2 strikes.
God.
2.
I mean, Street Smarts is a phrase that's been used for decades, or if not longer.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Yeah, you can't copyright common phrases in the English language. They try, but you can't. It's just
like
ridiculous.
Trump was trying to copyright Trump, and the copyright office turned him down.
It's like telling someone called McDonald that they can't call their business McDonald's because
there was a big dispute. They tried to do that, especially out here in Australia.
They did it in Scotland. They tried and got hammered for it. Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate that, Monkey Jeebus, but we already spelled it differently.
I think the Australian government may have struck us down, actually, now to think about it.
It may have been. I mean, they are drunk on power. Okay, I'm going to assume
that bitch.
That's Toxic Man Flu, but Grant's
it's Toxic Man Flu.
Grant's bitching shades for $5 says the only thing offensive on the stream is Mad's butchering of the Australian accent.
I know why we got struck down.
Joke's on you. That was a New Zealand accent, motherfucker.
I know why we got struck down, because Grant's shades are reflecting what he's watching on his laptop, and it's not pretty.
Well, that would be good if I had a laptop and it's literally just reflecting back your face. So I think it's probably the reason why we got struck.
That's why we got struck. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I told him.
Whoa! Cat lots of glow with their feet. Ugh, dude. I know Matt from Foul Ball. I don't know if you're out there, Matt, listening, but we all know the truth about Brie Larson and the fetish and the feet. It's horrifying. I hope you're okay though, Matt. And I'm also glad you got a food channel going. Good choice. No, just stay away from the feet and all that stuff from Brie Larson, and the world will be better off.
Matt has a food channel.
Don't kink shame, dude.
Is it called Foul Ball? Because that's a weird thing to name food.
Foul Ball Food and Drink.
Foul Ball Food. Okay.
Yeah, Foul Ball Food and Drink.
Foul Food and Drink.
That sounds like a bar and grill right outside of a stadium.
See, the placing of the punctuation would count, because if it was Foul Balls Food and Drink, it depends.
I like that better.
The place that sells just chicken nuts only.
It sells
just
Foul
chicken
Balls.
nuts.
Food and drink.
Yeah, everything has to be like shaped like a cock or balls. So chicken fingers, you're good to go, right? Like
cucumbers
why is my
all day. Zucchini.
Why do I only have steak in ball shape? Well, because like, what do you mean? Cut your steak into a penis? This is easier. Just eat the steak. Just put the steak balls.
Hail Nick and ladies on the panel. Must be it must be Nick
Nick
and
Lobby.
panel and then Mad. Mad must be ladies.
Either way, I don't care for it.
And he doesn't even care. It's okay.
Doesn't even care. Nick, can you put one slide up for a second? I'm gonna take a screenshot just so I can tweak something. Yep. I mean, I paused it, but I don't know if you want to show the slideshow like every once in a while. Then
well, let's just do it. Let's go for it.
Well, the ironic thing is I've not seen a single bot in the chat, and you've got no dislikes.
We have one bot in the chat. No, I got I got one that's showing on my end.
Oh, I can't.
I got
see
one. I'm like, because YouTube wants to hide that. I'm at 97.7 likes, so 43 versus 1 dislike. But that one like honestly happened very early on, within a half hour of the stream.
One dislike.
Yeah, that one dislike happened earlier. So
Mad, why did you dislike it?
Well,
I've got the extension, and it still says that there's 0.
It says 0 here. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Nah, maybe it's a bot. Maybe it's a bot. I don't know.
Or maybe she's born with it.
Born this way.
Oh, hey, Yeti is asking what time you plan on ending this, because like he wants to play Aliens with me.
Well, we can wrap up in the next 15-20 minutes.
Oh, I was gonna tell him to fuck off, but
you can still do that. No one's telling you can't.
Yeah,
well,
fuck
tell
off,
him to
Yeti.
fuck off, and we'll still wrap up in 15 to 20
Are you gonna
minutes.
play Aliens or Away Out?
No, we beat our way out, and I won. I won that game.
Dude,
I beat him.
Monkey
Only by
Jeebus.
betraying your partner.
Fuck
Monkey
you.
Jeebus.
He was an undercover cop.
You betrayed him.
My
brother.
controller died.
Never betray a bro.
Me and the missus was playing, and my controller died, so I lost my
really?
default.
Well, since we're at this near point where the things, at the climaxing of the movie, we'll talk about our scores and rankings of toxicity.
I
So,
just want to cut that thing off her head there.
oh, the Whoville girl. Yeah,
Who?
Whoville girl is. Oh man.
I'll
Well,
find
Mark.
a toxic
Oh, I
picture
get
to
it
show.
now.
I'll skip
Mark.
to the end. Yeah.
Mark, where do you rank this in the toxicity and greatness scale and
I mean,
overall?
Overall, with toxicity, all these people still using gas in the future. My God, how toxic is that? And fighting over gas.
True.
And then you got all the the outfits in this, the wrestling outfits, which are awesome. You can see the influence of that. Everyone copied this movie, right? So and then just the boomerang scene. It's just all the deaths in this are just totally toxic. So toxic. I'm giving it a 9.
God, he's all over her. And he's just like, look at my teeth.
I know, right? You're like, I thought better of you than this. Why a woman?
Yeah, breasts smell like a dead dingo.
Sorry, man. Too many women in this. No, that's all good.
Sorry,
Cole.
Mark.
It's all
Go
good.
on.
Yep. Yeah. Overall greatness, 9.7. This is like anytime you put this movie on, good watch. Drink a few beers. I guess not Foster. Now I've learned not to drink Foster. But watching this movie, Gregory will set me straight. But and then what was the other category? We had greatness, toxicity, and we're not doing handy randies for this one. Although I think the boomerang kid, the guy that caught the boomerang, should win an honorable handy randy.
Yes, I give this movie 4 out of 5 severed fingers.
Yeah. On a severed finger scale, what would you give this movie?
10 out of 10 severed fingers. Yeah. So
All right.
awesome movie. Yep.
All right, cool. Dustin, go ahead and do your scores in chat. Feel free to give this your toxicity score in the chat while Dustin sounds off.
I think overall score would be like a 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
Toxicity, I'm gonna give it a 12 out of 10 because the fucking dog was killed and nobody gave a shit.
Oh, I did not care for that at all.
Yeah.
I was
That
like,
was a
and
bad
like,
one.
because I know that it was just dog, and he was like whatever, but he was just like, well, maybe he was also concussed too, but he was
But
like
he
half
was a
blown
good
up.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He was a good pupper.
he was a good dog.
I think
And no
you're
one
He's
right.
a good dog. The dog, when they were early in the beginning of the movie, is holding on to that thing to make sure the guy stayed in line.
Yeah, on the dog
Yeah.
bone. Yeah.
Yeah, nasty teeth
But I mean-
guy.
But that was a trope in the 80s to the 90s. If there was a dog in the film, you're like, oh, it's going to get killed.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not too sure you could do that now. I don't.
Well, it's too problematic now because even looking at Internet Movie Database, they were talking about like the violence and stuff, and they were saying that the dog being killed, people won't like it.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, they
That's
cut
true,
out the bloody
sadly.
horse dying in Never Ending Story. So, I mean, that's no longer available on digital. They literally removed that entire scene.
Oh yeah.
Because, I mean,
Wow.
that was fucking traumatic, though. The
It's
horse
so funny.
slowly died, like suffocating. Yeah, I
Stupid
remember that.
horse.
Well, remember the game Castle Wolfenstein that you couldn't kill the German shepherds? They had to change them to Yahtzees or something because people were too
Well,
mad.
yeah, and then in the
What-
second
they're
one,
killing
you
the
couldn't.
German
In
shepherds
Spirit
in the game.
Destiny, you were able to kill Hitler's dog, but then they stopped you from doing that on the update. So
But aren't they already, like you said, they got to change them into Yancey things, but they're German Shepherds. Like I thought that was like,
yeah, they're not Jewish hounds.
yeah. What would
Yeah, I
you do?
like the 10 out of 10 Bloomin' Onions. I would totally give this a 10 out of 10.
Oh
Bloomin'
man,
Onions.
I don't
wanted
even know what that is.
What?
Okay, what a Bloomin' Onion
You
is
don't have
like
it?
you take a gigantic
No, it's not
fucking
an
onion.
Australian thing. I've seen them, but I just don't understand. Like, who wants to eat an entire freaking
Oh,
onion?
It's
I gotta- hold on.
delicious. It's breaded and you dip. Oh, good, man.
Yeah, it's exactly the
Deep
same
fried
thing.
American goodness.
It's exactly the same thing as an awesome blossom, which you may know that name of it. You may call it that because that's also from an Australian place.
Never even heard of that either.
Well,
Awesome
okay,
Blossom.
one of the things that, like, so when my friend was married to this Australian girl, she was living here, and she was like, one of the things that we don't have at home is cheese sauce. Like, you
Yeah.
can't get cheese sauce like breadsticks and all that stuff. And I was like, that's a travesty.
Well, I don't,
Wow.
with breadsticks, I would have marinara.
Well, but no one likes you, so
Oh, okay. All right. I'm the bad guy because I like marinara with my breadsticks.
cheese sauce, dude. Come on.
No, you
Can
got
you
to
get
have
cheese whiz?
breadsticks.
Cheese whiz in Australia, Mr. Greg Gregory?
It's the leaning.
Yeah, but it's
ta-
ridiculously
tower of
expensive, and no one
Pisa.
wants to buy cheese out of a can.
Well, it's like us finding like Vegemite here. It's like expensive.
Mhm.
I don't
Boy,
know what
you
it
got
is.
my cheese
I
whiz?
never want to know. Look, it's
That-
the
that-
leaning tower of Pisa.
All right, Matt.
do
Why don't you sound off on your scores?
Oh boy! All right, so yeah, I didn't finish it. I fell asleep. I got to where like he was rescued by the bad teeth guy, and I would give it I'm going to give it a solid 8.5. Solid 8.5.
5. Wow,
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And I'll be honest, it's only an 8.5 because I know my audience, so it is a 8.5.
I know my I'd say for Carrie King
Um,
likes breadsticks, according to Soul Assassin. So
I don't know who Carrie King is.
Dustin,
Is that an
'cause he
Australian
looks-
reference?
No, Dustin looks like Carrie King from Slayer, is what that is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stands the tribal.
Apparently,
problem
everyone
in my
looks
head.
like musicians now. So
Matt is off the panel forever. All two of them.
See?
70s. What you tell about yours?
Oh, I got to give it 10 out of 10 assless chaps. I think. I think that's the only real score that matters here.
If only all chaps weren't already assless, that would have been funny. Chaps are assless. Like,
I mean, he's not.
I'm
wrong.
sorry, I don't.
You are correct, Matt. You are correct. Yep.
Buzzkill.
fucking foreigners, man. Foreigners. No, it's not my fault that you're a foreigner.
Look, just because you wear them all the time.
I've worn some, yes. I grew up on a ranch, though.
Next time, get them on the right way around.
There's no. Oh, dude, you don't understand chaps. Have you ever seen chaps?
Oh, not close up. No.
There's no crotch and no ass. They're the perfect pants for men. As long as we're around other men.
Oh, I'm going to back RC's come out
And-
the 10 out of 10 and sorry, the cinematography because Miller when he was going through the editing of this movie, he did it all without any sound. And I feel like it shows because he was so focused on the visual look of the movie. So he wasn't have this sound being distracted. Like, I got to focus on how this looks because this movie still looks
Oh, it
wonderful.
looks
It's
great,
straight
yeah.
up eye candy to this day. Okay, 70s. Go ahead and continue.
I don't know if it's all that as quite as toxic as one or two other movies we've seen. I would only probably go about an 8.5 out of 10 toxicity, and partly Dustin because of what you said about the dog. I think it was put away pretty brutally there and kind of glossed over pretty quickly after that. In terms of greatness, it's the best of the four. Well, there's 3 Mad Max movies and a Furiosa movie. It's probably 9.5 for me. It's perfect, almost perfect. It's the right length. Nothing is wasted. Stories.
It's the right
fantastic.
length.
Yes, it's about that bit. That's nice.
All right.
That's only because you're wearing
Can
Michael
of film. It's a can of. No.
On a 1 out of 10 problematic scale, did you have anything else you had to add or no?
No, I just
Okay.
it's a fantastic movie and it stands the test of time very well.
As far as its own merits as a movie, I'm gonna go with a 9.3 of the movie. As far as toxicity, I'm gonna go with the 8.4 on this one. Because one, you got Mel Gibson eating dog food. That's great. The guy's just such an utter savage. You got these people who are being savages to each other just over fuel. You got the brutal kills going on. You also have some problematic moments that just wouldn't fly in today's movie. So I feel like it's got a good amount of toxicity going. Not the most amount ever, but there's definitely enough to warrant a toxicity flick. And this is a handless Randy because, well, Bam Bam did the damage with that boomerang. So this is a handless Randy here. So sorry, Randy, but you get no handies tonight. So that's just how this cookie crumbles. And Toxic Man Flu gives this movie 10 out of 10. Tina Turner's at the adjusted her attitude. And then as an indie movie, I give it a 10 out of 10. But as a toxic film, only 7.5 out of 10. Well, no, it's okay.
The movie proves that we don't need no other hero. It gets a 10 out of 10. It's about an 8 on the toxicity scale. And gets a handy Randy just because.
Ooh, and it still gets a handy, even with the hands cut off. Tom still gives it a handy Randy.
Would be a nubby wubby.
No, nubby wubby. Nubs. All right. Well, those are scores. Chat, thank you for your scores. This has been your 28th episode of the Toxic Tuesday. Thank you all, and of course, for all the ones that returned, and for the few of the newbies, Monkey Jeebus, Gen Xer, and I think there's a few more new faces, but welcome. Hopefully, you guys liked what you saw and heard. Hopefully, you come back, and thank you. Come again next week. We're gonna go to a little bit of a prophetic movie. There's this guy named Sylvester Stallone, and there's this other guy named Wesley Snipes. And, well, let's just say we're going to go Demolition Man on this movie.
Dude, I've been waiting for this one since you started.
I'll go 10 out of 10
as soon as you
right
said
now.
prophetic, I'm like, it has to be this. It has to be this.
Yeah, Naked Fame, great stream. Oh, thank you, Naked Fame. And Rob Walters, hey, thank you for hanging out with us. Seriously, no. So yeah, Soul Seven Final, yeah, I know. This has been a lot of people have been asking for this one for a while. Like
I had it in the bag until Matt did that stupid bloody campaign of his. Changed it right at the last
Which
minute.
one, Grant? It's hard to tell.
Found all
There's
those
so many
votes
of them.
after the poll finished. Yeah.
RC, I'll bring the ticker.
Bell.
Oh, I see what you did there.
That's a reference.
Yeah.
Nice one.
It's a reference. All right. Yeah, it's gonna be
That's
great.
from the movie.
Well,
Shall accompany me to Tucker.
anyways, chat. Yes, this is gonna be a blast. Spread the word. Share the word. It's gonna be fun next week. I'll see you all. It's gonna be awesome. Thank you for, as always, constantly supporting. Once again, there's stuff like the main event going on, obviously right before me, Midnight's Edge After Dark. So the support is always appreciated. Thank you for the tippers, for those who stick around, whether it's for 5 minutes or throughout the stream. I thank you. Thank you for sticking around too after I got hit. Like, you could have all just bolted, because that's usually how that shit goes. You all could have bolted, but
Well,
yeah,
I was
both of
halfway
you
out the
stuck
door.
around. Yeah. 70s was over.
It was
it.
gone.
70s was
That was
over.
gone.
He just stopped caring. He's just like, no, they
Yeah,
suck.
it's like
and they
playing a
rock.
game, you know. Just-
Oh, Tox, you're too nice. You're too nice. No, but before we go, we're gonna have our fellow toxic men here plug in their channels, and I'm gonna start off with That 70s rock fan.
Oh no, I've not got time to think about it if I go first. Anyway, I do have a wonderful little channel. Well, some people say it's wonderful.
Oh, it's wonderful. You're doing awesome stuff.
Others tell the truth. Well, thank you, Mark. It's very kind of you. That 70s rock fan, where I do videos about bands and science fiction books and some other stuff. And I've started, and I started yesterday, my first ever regular weekly live stream. That's
Nice.
Monday afternoons, 2 p.m. Pacific every week. I had the first one yesterday, went pretty good. So look forward to those in future. And obviously I'm on Talks Tuesdays. Fridays I'll be on Emma for Cocktail Lounge and Foulball Productions. And inspired by a good friend of ours on this very panel, I've started my own little side channel for a little radio station. So that's 70s Rock Fan Radio. It'll never be as good as the hallowed
Thank you,
halls
Mark.
of the Mead Radio, but thank you for stopping by that. If you will look for that channel, there's a link to it on my main channel. So
I'm going
Alright,
to be
does your
requesting
live
a lot of
stream have a
Jethro
name?
Tull.
yes, the Tull. It's actually a 24-hour Jethro Tull station.
Awesome.
So armed police will be at the door within 2 hours, thinking that someone's been kidnapped or died. So,
Awesome.
Wait.
70s.
thanks, buddy.
Hey,
you.
thank you. And guys, this is his channel, so please subscribe to him, and you will not be disappointed. And that's a promise, Rooney. All right, 70s. I'll see you
Cheers.
next week
Thank
for
you,
the
buddy.
next Toxic Tuesday, and I'm gonna kick Rooney's ass before next week happens. And now I'm gonna plug in Dustin here of Kino Simple and Peru Tile. Dustin, plug away your channel. I should probably stop saying that before they copyright strike my channel for sounding like
Too good, man.
Cameron.
Yeah, I've got Keto Simple. It's cooking and lifestyle for the ketogenic lifestyle channel that I have, and I have a podcast with my friend Abby that we do, Death of Nuance. We just dropped a 4th episode yesterday. They are long, like 2 to 3 hours each. Releasing an episode every 2 weeks right now. So check that out. See if you like it.
Killer. Awesome. Well, Dustin, as always, thank you for coming back and coming on.
Thanks for having me. I love you guys.
I love you too, man.
It's like emotions. What do I do?
What do I do? Emotions.
Yeah,
All right, Rob Halford. I know you're hell-bent for leather, but it's time for you to go the fuck home.
Can I just why is it that every time I go to an effort, you always compare me to a gay rock person? Just out of curiosity, it always seems to be the way that I go. Is it
Rob
you
Halford
trying to
is
tell me
gay?
something?
Yeah, he is.
No, no way.
But way.
That's why I was getting mixed up. His husband's name Tom. I always thought his
Very
name was
way.
Tom. His husband's
Oh,
name's Tom.
dude, he had a song called "Ram It Down." Come on.
Yeah, it's very gay.
Okay, I'm listening. Who is this? I don't know much about rock.
But he's not breaking the law, though. So that's okay.
By the way, if that makes you uncomfortable, Grant, like you're part of the Mad Barber Boys now. Everything we do is uncomfortable unless you're comfortable with it.
Oh, after a while, you push past the tears and the blood, and you get used to it. So I learned that.
And then the stream starts.
Boy.
And then the stream starts.
Anyway, you can find me on Mr. Grant Greg. I've just hit 300 subs for some strange reason. You know, I just went out and asked people to sub, and strangely enough, they did. So that's pretty lucky. So yeah, and you'll see me definitely next week on this stream because I've been pushing for Demolition Man for as long as I've known Nick. So I'll definitely be here.
Yeah, me too.
All right,
Please.
killer. Subscribe to our Aussie on here. He'll be our diversity quota for next
truth.
week. It's
Oh,
true.
man.
It's true.
I can't wait.
Bubba.
Dude, I love Demolition Man so much.
Tom, I know everyone knows where to find you, but if you want to say anything anything, you could say whatever you want. You can even tell me to fuck off if you want.
407 years ago, Mad Mardigan found a penis.
Not found one he doesn't like yet.
7 years. Hold on, I'm doing the math to see if that actually lines up.
Down since.
Okay, that part I don't like, but the first part, let me count it up. No, it's been more than 7 years. Wait, how long is a 4 score?
I don't know.
All right,
4
Yeti,
times longer
you're
than a
in.
score.
How many is a score? 20?
I know a fork night is like what, 2 weeks or something?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it a score 20?
I don't know, but that's all Tom
then
has
that's
to.
overshot.
That's all Tom had to say for now. Well, Tom, thank you for coming on, and of course, thank you for hanging around. I know you say you had limited time, but thank you for sticking around, dude. So I do appreciate it, especially since you had every right to not stick around. I know you're always working on stuff between your 800 channels and all the videos you're always working on. So thank you, and I appreciate it.
No problem. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. So
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure is always mine, my friend. And now, Mr. Mark D with the C, one of the men who is very instrumental in helping make Toxic Tuesday be as well viewable as it is. So, Mark,
Yep.
plug in your channel, dude. You have a channel.
Thank you. Yeah, I got a channel going. Yeah, thanks everyone who subbed, and I appreciate more subs. Right, more is good. And yeah, sorry about that slideshow being too good. I guess they keep nailing us SOBs, but. Anyway, yeah, I'm on Thursday Night Cloudbeast Clubhouse, and my big show for the week is always Sunday Night Geekery. A bunch of you guys have been on that, so open invite to anyone to be there. It's Sunday night, 11 Eastern. We just hang out, talk about what was on, happened during the week, and sometimes we have a topic, but usually it's just a bunch of people geeking out, which is always fun. And then during the week, I've got videos on toys. You can see the quote unquote junk, as my wife calls it, behind me. But, I love collecting and sharing that stuff with you guys. So
you tell Mad that there's going to be junk on your streams, and he'll be watching every time.
Always got junk. Yeah.
I missed that. I was reading Soul Assassin with a dick in the grass is worth 2 balls in the hand.
That's right.
Yeah, like I get this random stuff. Like Star Wars. I got a bad feeling about this game. But you can never have too much stuff, as I say. But it's all fun and love being on here. Look forward to it during the week. And my election speech tonight, I promised Toxic Tuesday for everyone forever, and I guess that got me some extra votes. So
you're gonna make it mandatory, Mark.
Mandatory.
It's a mandate. Yeah. You need a
mandate for Toxic Tuesday. Everyone had to watch Nick's channel.
Mandate. Now Matt's in. He likes mandates.
So that helped me get plenty of votes. So that was all good. Yep.
Oh, look at that! You just got one, Mark.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Yep. Appreciate it very much. Yep.
See, I tell you, you just ask and people do it.
Yeah, people do it.
That's
right.
I
also do a lot of 3D printing. You can see the 3D figures back there. So I have some of that coming up on for Brightest Day, I just printed a huge the Battlestar for the Cylons for him. So we're going to be doing a video on that. So when he gets that together, but yeah, it's all good and appreciate it and having a lot of fun on YouTube, meeting all these great people here. So sub to everyone and thank you very much, Nick.
Yeah, my pleasure. And thank you always for your help with keeping our Toxic Tuesday looking visualistically nice. So I appreciate it. And
thank you.
I'll see you next week for when we do Demolition Man. And now, last but not least, the lover of dogs, especially when they're really big, and then the man who wears the chaps the best.
Did you say dogs or dong?
Dong, dude. You are a donger.
No, like that's a miss. No, listen, I love my dong. You know what I mean? Like it never gives up. It's only been sick a couple of times. And it's my boy, it's my buddy. I would miss him if he was gone. Anyway.
He's a little fella, yeah.
Yeah.
Toxic is asking if I could print Matt a dong.
Oh, do you have a 3D printer?
Yeah, I have a 3D printer, yeah. I got two of them.
No, not a dong, like an extension. Like, you know what I mean? Like an add-on?
An add-on, yeah. An enhancement.
Give him another 2 inches so it doubles in size.
Ooh, yeah. Wow. You guys are so clever with your dick jokes, man. They never get old, and they're all original. They're all original, and I've never heard them before. No, for me though, you can come to my channel. Let's see, we got Street Smarts tomorrow.
Can you really? It's not that exciting. Come on, to come to your channel.
Cool. No, I promise I'll laugh when I hear a funny one. So tomorrow you can come to Street Smarts, and then followed by Wednesday, Mad and Culture do it live on it together on a stream. That's after Street Smarts, and then Yeti and I are going to be playing Xbox here in a little bit on his channel. He wanted me to promote that.
Are you dumping tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm one of the peanuts in the dump. I got to be there. Can't get rid of me.
Dude, he's one of the dump posters. So
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I'm a peanut. I'm a Peanut in the dump. Oh, hey, Nick, we should do a Mad Barber Boy special Toxic Tuesday with all the Mad Barber Boys.
Love to. That sounds amazing.
We'll set that up.
We'll set that shit up. It'll be fantastic.
Cause you think I'm bad? You got to see all these guys when they get together. My gosh. Ridiculous.
Hey, we'll do that. And yes, right after the stream, come join us and bro out hard. You heard Yeti Cast, so go follow Yeti and Mad. Yeah. They'll be doing some gaming. It'll be totally fantastic.
We bro out.
Mario Kart.
All right, Mads, I sub. Someone's got to do it.
Well.
All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you all next week. And for some of you, I'll see you on the Comic Shop Talk. And I've got some videos coming out this week, so pay attention to that and check all the guys here on the panel. All right. Good fight.
Especially me.
Good night. And don't check out